Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Evan Bach, Brian Thomas, and Dale Hummel. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the three-game West Coast League Series between the top two teams in the West Coast League in the summer of 2024, the Corvallis Knights and the Portland Pickles. A good ball game last night. The Knights taking Game 1, cooling off the hottest team in the league, as the Knights did in its previous series against Ridgefield. Ridgefield had won 13 straight. The Knights swept the series. The Pickles coming in, leading the South Division, had won 5 straight. The Knights were victorious last night in Game 1. A strong pitching performance by Tyner Horn, and excellent work in the back end out of the bullpen by Gabe Hernandez, who will be our guest on the pregame show on Lil King bobblehead night. Lil King's 14th year as the other mascot with Mac the Knight. Lil King's been a big hit. 500 bobbleheads of Lil King are floating around the ballpark here this evening. The first 500 fans getting them. Lil King will be making the rounds throughout the stadium. Coming up next, the pride of Barstow, California, and Cal State Northridge. Our first conversation with the outstanding relief pitcher who was in good form last night. Got hit by a ball. That's where the conversation will start. A line drive up the middle in the ninth inning. He stayed on to survive it to get a game-ending double play. We'll go over all of that and more, get to the lineups and the first pitch. The Corvallis Knights and the Portland Pickles with Gabe Hernandez coming up after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights with a 5-3 win over the Portland Pickles, joined by a guy who did a tremendous job in bringing home the save, Gabe Hernandez. Gabe, it's nice to meet you officially in this context. Congratulations on the win. Got a little dicey there for a little bit. You took a shot off your shin and chose to pitch on and got a game-ending double play. That didn't look like it felt very good.
No, it didn't feel good. I saw it off the bat, and I tried to get my glove down. I just felt it hit my leg, and still know there's a play to make. And so I ran to first. Didn't have a play, but, walked it off and got the job done.
I do think by it going off your body, as painful as it was, if it gets through, they might have first and third. So sometimes you got to get a little lucky, and in that case, then you're in a position to get the game-ending double.
Yeah, it's a tough situation there, but I'd rather keep that ball in the infield, keep the runners where they are, and gives us a better chance to win in the end.
Then a line drive ends the game, double play ball. What was the feeling like? It looked like you were you're in pain, but you had to feel pretty good in that moment.
Off the bat, I wasn't sure if Ukes was positioned right or not. I wasn't sure if it was going to get through or not, and saw the ball go right to him, and, got the double play. Caught the runner sleeping a little bit. It was good job by him.
And it was a good game, I thought, tonight. Two good clubs. You guys have the best records in the league. Did you feel an atmosphere here tonight like, hey, this is a big time game against a good team that we really want to win this?
Oh no, for sure. I mean, coming off that Richfield series, they were 13-0 coming into that, so kind of had a chip on our shoulder, trying to get that done, and went into this series with that same chip. They're ahead of us in the second half right now, so trying to keep that lead overall and bring it into the playoffs, hopefully.
Gabe Hernandez, my guest. Gabe, how have you liked the summer in Corvallis so far?
Oh, I love it. It almost reminds me of home a little bit. Small town. It feels like everybody around Corvallis kind of knows each other, so it's kind of something I'm familiar with. But no, I love the atmosphere here. I love the people. It's had a blast.
Gabe, tell me a little bit about the hometown. You say it kind of reminds you a little bit in some ways, not always, not the weather, but Barstow, California, roughly 25,000 people. What are some things about Barstow that I guess you kind of like growing up there, and maybe what you've seen here that you kind of like too?
I really love the homey feel. Like, it feels like home. Everyone knows everyone. I kind of like that part about it. You kind of go anywhere and have that sense of comfort, like you're at home, and I love that here. And yeah, I mean, I kind of see why guys at Oregon State love it so much too. It's a tight knit community, and they love the game, and that's kind of what I'm all about too.
I did see you trying to stay cool now. What we call hot days differs from where you grew up in Barstow. If it gets 80, oh man, it's really hot. I mean, you're used to much hotter than that. But I did see you on our Willamette River. So have you enjoyed a few river?
Oh yeah, no. There was that span of that break we had. We had 2-day break, a game, 2-day break. I think I was on the river all 4 days. So
you like that?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm about 2 hours away from Needles and Laughlin. So I'd go out there with my family, and we'd take river trips from my dad's side, and so that was fun. So that kind of reminds me of that.
Needles. Now, when I've seen hot temperatures in the state of California and in America, that comes up. That makes lists. So how hot can it get in Needles?
I mean, if Barstow can get up to like 115, Needles can be around 120. It's usually +5-ish around there. So no, it gets hot. It gets hot for sure.
Do you like the kind of mild stuff we get?
Oh yeah, I like it. Living in LA, it's like pretty perfect at all times. So the weather here is pretty similar, but no, yeah, I love the weather. I love everything here. It's been really fun.
What about the opportunity for you out of Barstow to go to Northridge? Has that been a good fit for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Northridge is one of those places. We're not like other D1s. We don't get a lot of privileges. We don't get a lot of stuff compared to other big schools. So that kind of carries in from Barstow. We're a small town. We don't get much. So those two kind of correlate, and I love kind of the gritty feel. You gotta work for what you want.
It's a good attitude to have. Last couple of things with Gabe Hernandez, the save over the Portland Pickles. The summer here, and not only the camaraderie with the guys and the things you've experienced, what have you wanted to work on in your own game this summer, and how have you felt that's gone for you?
Really just my confidence. Coming in, obviously, I didn't have the best year at school, so I really want to come in, do a great job, get my confidence up to go into the fall and carry that over into the spring. That was really my main goal. But obviously, working with Uni, working with Skip, just trying to better myself as a pitcher, overall player, and a person.
Well, it seems like all of that's accomplished. Now, you got ice on you while I'm talking to you. I don't know how it feels in these last few minutes. I'm catching you just a few minutes after the game.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from this? If you've taken some shots off the shin before, I mean, are you going to be a little stiff and sore tomorrow?
No. I'll definitely be a little stiff. I mean, I haven't really taken shots off my leg ever. I've been lucky enough to kind of avoid them. So, yeah, that's my first one. But I should be able to bounce back pretty quick. I don't know about this series, but definitely the next one, hopefully.
Well, congratulations, Gabe, on a big moment, great outing, big win. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you with the Knights. Really appreciate you taking time.
Sir, appreciate you, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's Gabe Hernandez joining me. Got to get a shot. And indeed, we'll come back in 60 seconds for the lineups and the first pitch. The Corvallis Knights and the Portland Pickles in 1 minute on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Right-hander James DeCramer is loosening up, getting ready to face the following lineup as announced by the head coach in his 9th year with the Portland Pickles, the entire existence of the Pickles franchise. Mark Magdaleno announcing the following starting lineup, leading off in right field, Tanner Griffith. Batting second at shortstop, Tyler Harries. Hitting third at third base, Jack Metro. The cleanup hitter at second base, Alex Govea. Dalton Mayshore batting fifth, the designated hitter. Riley McCarthy hitting sixth and catching. James DeCramer goes to work on the left-hand hitting Tanner Griffith and misses down and in, and we are underway on a pleasant evening. A little bit hazier. The AQI, I hope, isn't climbing too high, but it's not quite as clear and clean as the last couple of days. The 1-0 pitch missing high and inside for ball two, 2-0. James is hopeful of turning around what has beset him his last two outings, namely a lack of the command of the zone, an issue in, for his standards, an inordinate number of walks. The 2-0 pitch, ball three, 3-0. So, again, it's one of those things that more than anything else, I don't know if it's in his head. He hasn't walked anybody yet, but he's 3-0 on Tanner Griffith coming off a start last week in Bend where I thought he was squeezed and then seemed to be affected by the lack of generosity within the zone from Dana Cruz. The 3-0 pitch here to Tanner Griffith is a strike, and the count 3-1. Tyler Harries on deck. James DeCramer comes back with a 3-1 pitch, and that's down and away for ball four. A leadoff walk, and the batter will be Tyler Harries. And James just as quickly can right himself. I have no doubts along those lines, but there is some righting that, in a sense, is necessary for the talented right-hander who I believe is going to be a big part of Oregon State baseball in 2025, a potential future Friday night guy for Oregon State baseball, one of the premier programs in the country. And James, highly regarded, that he knows above all others, as does his pitching coach, Rich Dorman, who just made his way into the ballpark and is settling in to watch the player that he'll have the privilege of coaching the next several seasons in Corvallis. Knows that control and commanding his stuff, his excellent stuff, is job one here tonight and going forward. The breaking ball misses to Tyler Harries. Now the 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. James DeCramer and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Quinn Dufort at first base, Peyton Miller at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Thomas Ferragaro at third with Blake Wilson in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, and Ben Lead, who made his debut last night but makes his first start with the Knights tonight, a local kid out of CV. DeCramer's breaking ball misses, and he's behind the count. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tyler Harries. Riley Keller calling balls and strikes this evening. Elijah Bester, the base umpire. Jordan Barkus coaching at third. Griffin Williams, who worked with Petey the last couple of years at LB, coaching at first. DeCramer misses again, ball 3, 3-1. A leadoff walk to Tanner Griffith, 3-1 to Tyler Harries. Jack Metro on deck. The Knights and Pickles battling for the best overall record in the West Coast League. The Knights starting 33-10. The Pickles at 31-12. The 3-1 fastball. Ball 4 to Tyler Harries just outside. Back-to-back walks to open the game for James DeCramer. And he'll try again to, on the fly in a sense, I think overcome, it feels to me, it appears to me, and I have no idea the psychology of it all for the talented right-hander. But almost clear a hurdle, a mental hurdle of some sort. And we'll see if he can do it against Jack Metro now for the Portland Pickles with 2 on and nobody out. Metro squares to bunt, takes a strike. 0-1 the count to Jack. Metro hitting just 164, but he's drawn 12 walks. 6 runs batted in, 4 sacrifice hits on the season. Coach Magdaleno, a big believer in the short game and moving runners. 0-1 to Metro, 2 on, nobody out in the top of the first. Again, Metro shows bunt, takes high, the count 1-1. Jordan Barkus gets the signs from Coach Magdaleno within the Portland Pickles dugout on the first base side. Then from the third base box, relays them to the runners and the hitter, in this case, Jack Metro, with 2 on and nobody out. 1-1 to Jack. Alex Govea on deck. Breaking ball outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Breeze is blowing out towards left center field. A cooler, pleasant day, but it does have a little bit of a hazier look. I'm going to have to study the AQI here at some point. It said 18 earlier. It looks higher. The 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled back to even the count at 2-2. The Knights and Pickles will wrap up the series tomorrow on Baseball Bingo. It'll be a 5:05 start. A good crowd coming in tonight on Lil King Bobblehead Night, celebrating the 14 years of Lil King, who's now walking through the concourse with his big brother, Mac the Knight. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jack Metro. 2 on and nobody out, just getting started. James DeCramer kicks. The runners go. The 2-2 pitch is fouled at the plate. Magdaleno, an aggressive approach shared by his counterpart, as we've seen through the years, Corvallis head coach Brooke Knight. The runners going on the 2-2 pitch. Metro gets a piece to stay up there. With Tanner Griffith at second, Tyler Harries at first, and James DeCramer trying to get through a little bit of a slump in the control department. Comes 2-2. Fastball lifted to right. Playable for Ben Lead. He slides into the catch. Tagging up is Tanner Griffith and will go to third on the fly ball to right field. Ben played left field late last night. Came on as a pinch hitter, grounded into a double play, made a put out in the 9th inning in left field, and he makes a catch here. The Pickles do have an opportunity with runners at first and third and 1 out to get a run home without the benefit of a hit as Alex Govea comes to the plate. Govea, .328 with 22 runs batted in, a couple of sacrifice flies. The Knights infield at double play depth. James DeCramer, the freshman right-hander, set. Runner from first, bluffs. Breaking ball just misses, and if that's not going to be a strike tonight, we could be in for a long night. Riley Keller says no, and now Riley turns and says something quickly into the Knights dugout. The Knights dugout was not pleased with the lack of a strike call, and it again felt as though James was squeezed last week at Vince Genna in Bend. The 1-0 fastball in there for a strike. The count 1-1. First and third and 1 out. The Pickles trailed early last night 3-0. Rallied to tie. The Knights eventually won it 5-3 in the series opener. There goes the runner from first. The pitch is outside and no throw. Tyler Harries into second base. And the double play no longer in order. The Knights will play their infield back at normal depth now. With a count of 2 balls and a strike to Alex Govea, Dalton Mayshore on deck. The Pickles trying to get the jump, get this series even. Fastball line down the right field line, foul in the corner. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The one thing the Knights have accomplished, and winning last night did this for them, they have clinched the season series against the Pickles, thus have, in a sense, a 3-game lead on the Pickles for the best overall record. Should the teams end in a flat-footed tie, the Knights, by virtue of winning the season series, would have the better record. The pitch on the way fouled to the left by Govea above the Knights' dugout. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the first inning. The final game between the two in the regular season tomorrow at 5:05. Tanner Griffith from third. Tyler Harries from second. The 2-2 pitch, a little tapper towards DeCramer. He will concede a run in fielding his position and toss to first to Quinn Dufort for the out. Alex Govea gets the job done with the RBI nubber, scoring Griffith 1-0 Portland. On the play, Tyler Harries goes into third, and Dalton Mayshore will be the hitter. Thanks to the Portland Pickles and the Pickles becoming a team in this West Coast League in 2016. First pitch breaking ball from DeCramer to Dalton Mayshore, misses high and inside, ball one. Dalton, third-generation baseball player. Both his grandfather and his father played Major League Baseball. Damon Mayshore's father, Clyde Mayshore's grandfather. Dalton trying to make it on his own. Breaking ball for a strike, and the count 1-1. Dalton Mayshore. Damon Mayshore turned down scholarship offers to play football and baseball for the Miami Hurricanes. Might have been in the Jimmy Johnson era. I don't think Dennis was there yet. Fastball to Dalton Mayshore, misses high and inside. Damon ended up playing baseball at the University of Arizona, 89-91, then went on to make the major leagues. Damon's father, Clyde, played with the Cincinnati Reds and the Montreal Expos 1969 through 73. DeCramer's 2-1 breaking ball to Dalton Mayshore. Swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. Portland leads it 1-0. Back-to-back walks to open the game. All things considered, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. If DeCramer gets through it, I think, heave a sigh of relief in a sense. The 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball fouled into Urchin Alley to the right. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Mayshore. Mayshore starting the evening at .250 with 6 runs batted in. Has a chance to pick up one here with 2 down. 1-0 Pickles in the first. DeCramer works out of the stretch. Another 2-2 pitch coming from James. Fastball outside, ball 3. 3-2. Riley McCarthy, the on-deck hitter. DeCramer working with Tyler Howard. Nods yes. Comes set and comes with a 3-2 breaking ball. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Again, all things considered, a good ending for James DeCramer. After walking the first 2, he retires the next 3, does give up a run along the way, but gets out of a troublesome situation without further damage. 1 run, no hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll give you the full starting lineups for both clubs when we return in 90 on the night's live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the first inning, left-hander Kenny Ishikawa staked to a 1-0 lead. Let's take a look at the night starting lineup. Leading off will be Thomas Ferrajaro at third base. Batting second at shortstop, Tai Yukamoto. Brandon Cabrera hitting third in center field. The cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Kevin Takeuchi. Batting fifth at first base, Quinn Dufort. Blake Wilson hitting sixth in left field. Ben Lead batting seventh in right field. Hitting eighth and catching, Tyler Howard. Peyton Miller batting ninth at second base. James DeCramer giving up a run in the top of the first inning. To the Portland Pickles, their lineup quickly. Tanner Griffith in right, the leadoff hitter. Tyler Harries batting second and short. Jack Metcho hitting third at third. Alex Govea, the cleanup hitter at second base. Dalton Mayshore batting fifth, the DH. Riley McCarthy hitting sixth and catching. Kevin Ferguson batting seventh at first base. The first pitch from the left-hander Kenny Ishikawa misses to the switch-hitting Thomas Ferragamo. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Tony Otis batting eighth in center field. The pitch to Ferragamo, a one-hop shot right back to the box. Fielded cleanly by Ishikawa, who takes care of business, retiring Ferragamo 1-3, and that'll bring Tai Yukamoto to the plate. McCarthy hitting sixth and catching. Kevin Ferguson batting seventh at first base. Tony Otis hitting eighth in center. Britton Beeson batting ninth and left. And southpaw Kenny Ishikawa on the mound. Kenny, with one out, nobody on, will face Tai Yukamoto. And Tai takes the first pitch. Knee high for a strike. 0-1 the count. The aforementioned Rich Dorman and family. Rich settling in right below our vantage point. Get a good look from just below where I'm calling the games from outside of the McGrath family press box at prized right-hander James DeCramer. Yukamoto swings and misses. 0-2 the count. Ishikawa back to the plate. Breaking ball. Foul tipped and held by Riley McCarthy for strike three. Two down, and Brandon Cabrera will come to the plate. Ishikawa off to a nice start, retiring the first two Corvallis Knights hitters, making his eighth overall appearance. 11 2/3, 10 hits allowed. The right-hander from Japan has struck out 14, walked only 5, a record of 2-1, and earned run average of 6.17. The pitch to Cabrera hit foul off first. No balls and one strike the count. 2 outs, nobody on, 1-0 Portland, game 2 of the 3-game series. The strike one pitch to Brandon. Misses high. Had the pleasure of meeting Brandon's mom, making the trip to the ballpark here tonight. A lot of the parents, as the summer goes along, have been able to come in and see their sons playing ball here in the West Coast League. Cabrera hits a little chopper to the second baseman, Alex Govea, who takes care of business and throws out Brandon. And the Knights go quickly, 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. After one, the Pickles won and the Knights nothing back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community, to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
1-0 Portland to the second inning. James DeCramer to the plate. Fastball in there for a strike. Already a better start to the second inning for James, who fell behind 3-0 to the leadoff hitter, Tanner Griffith, before putting him on with ball 4. And Tanner ended up scoring a run. The strike one, breaking ball misses, and the count 1-1. Riley McCarthy, Kevin Ferguson, and Tony Otis in the second. DeCramer nods yes to Tyler Howard, the freshman to be at Oregon State. To the plate, fastball lined foul down the right field line, heading to the corner. The count 1-2 to Riley McCarthy in this game of inches, as it has long been described, and rightly so. That was a matter of inches for an extra base hit for Riley. Instead, it's strike 2. 1-2 to Riley McCarthy. On the breaking ball on the 1-2 pitch. On appeal, no swings as base umpire Elijah Bester. That evens the count to Riley. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Portland in the second. The 2-2 pitch is taken. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts for James DeCramer. 1 away. And that'll bring to the plate Kevin Ferguson. Kevin at first base for the Portland Pickles. Out of Battleground and getting ready to attend the University of Hawaii. Ferguson swings and misses to Kramer's first pitch breaking ball. 0-1 the count. 1-0 Pickles in the second. James working quickly, comes back good. Fastball in there, strike 2. 0-2 the count. Last inning, and in his last outing at Bend, James just missing on a number of pitches. The strike 2 breaking ball is hit on a couple of hops to the night second baseman Peyton Miller. Peyton fields cleanly and throws to Quinn Dufort for out number 2. Tony Otis will be the hitter. Peyton Miller's folks, Michael and Eileen, are in the ballpark tonight, making the trip up from Southern California along with Peyton's girlfriend Grace, whom he met at Gonzaga. I enjoyed talking to Peyton yesterday about the Oregon State Gonzaga series and how he and his teammates were marveling over Travis Bazana's at-bats. The pitch to Tony Otis, a breaking ball strike, the count 0-1. 2 outs, nobody on. DeCramer back to the plate, another breaking ball swung on and missed. And DeCramer, after a bit of a rough patch to start the game in terms of command of the zone, looking like his old self here in the second. The strike 2 pitch coming from James. Breaking ball hit foul down the right field line and well out of play. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Travis picked up a run batted in his Lake County captain's debut last night outside. It was actually on the road away from the Cleveland area. The strike 2 fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3 to retire the side. DeCramer has retired 6 in a row after the back-to-back walks. 3 of the last 4 outs by strikeout. The Pickles are gone in the second after 1.5. Portland won and the Knights nothing back in 90 on Joe Radio. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0. The Portland Pickles. Left-hander Kenny Ishikawa delivers to Kevin Takeuchi and misses low and inside, ball one. The 1-0 pitch from the left-hander pulled fair down the left field line into the corner. Past the diving Jack Mecho. The ball rattling around in the corner and goes into out-of-play territory, which is a bit of a break for the Portland Pickles in that Takeuchi, with his good wheels, would probably have challenged to try to get a triple on it. But as it is, it's a ground rule double deep into the left field corner, and Quinn Dufort, the hitter. A leadoff two-bagger for Kevin. Starting the night at 344, Quinn Dufort now the leader for the Knights in team hitting. Individual batting at 347 with 23 runs batted in. Kevin Takeuchi, the team leader in homers and the league leader in runs batted in. Quinn with a count of 0-1, hoping to at least move the runner. Looks at a breaking pitch up and in from Ishikawa. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Ishikawa 5'11", 185. Comes set, glances back at Takeuchi and delivers low and away. Ball 2, 2-1. A leadoff double for Kevin Takeuchi, representing the tying run at second. Another nice crowd in here tonight. Lil King bobblehead night. The 2-1 pitch. Quinn decides a little late. Swings and doesn't get it. 2-2 the count. Blake Wilson, the on-deck hitter. Ishikawa ready, and the left-hander comes back to Quinn. The 2-2 pitch, a ground ball to second, fielded by Govea in shallow right, flips to first for the out, but on the play, Takeuchi advances to third. Nicely done by Quinn Dufort, advancing the runner. Hey, Missy. Yeah, go further. They're further that way, down in the orange seats behind. No, go past the Knights dugout in the orange seats below the concourse. Blake Wilson with an opportunity to get the run home. The first pitch to Blake is swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. The outfield pretty shallow for Blake Wilson. Blake looking for at least the scoring fly ball. Ishikawa works from the stretch and comes 0-1. A blooper foul past Ed Nags. Ed coaching at first base, and the running man who ran from Wenatchee to Corvallis in time for opening day. Bless his heart. 419 miles, averaging over 15 miles a day for the opening day run to raise awareness and money for mental health issues in our young people. Raised over $20,000 running 419 miles in his opening day run. Great for him and for a tremendous cause. And every time I see him run after a foul ball down the line, I think that's a little bit of a shorter run than he had earlier in the late spring. Blake Wilson takes high, the count 1-2. Takeuchi at third, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch, Blake fights it off, hits it foul, past the Omaha room and well out of play. Hello? Text or call Jamie then. I'm okay, I'm on the air, I gotta go. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. The pitch to Blake, swung on and fouled back. My wife is wandering through the ballpark trying to find, I have a niece and a nephew and 4 kids. They're all decked out in night gear and beaver gear, and she can't find them. Too big of a crowd. And she's calling me during the middle of this half inning, and I've answered her twice, trying to get her to family. So My apologies for the slight distraction, but you understand, family. I am third, said Gale Sayers. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The Knights trying to get the tie and run home. Blake Wilson waiting on the left-hander, Kenny Ishikawa. Kevin Takeuchi, a leadoff double. Ishikawa working very deliberately here, has twice stepped off the rubber. Now Blake Wilson backs out. It looks to me like pitch clock violations all around. I'm glad that they have not been invoked. Breaking ball, strike 3 called to Blake Wilson, 2 down. Blake thought the pitch was low. Brooke Knight may have felt the same, but again, it's not so much that the pitch was not a good one. I thought it was from Ishikawa, but DeCramer made some pitches early that had the Knights dugout peppering Riley with questions. And so I think Blake felt, well, that wasn't a strike when our guy was pitching in the first inning. Ben Lead, the batter, ground ball into shallow right, knocked down by Alex Govea, no play. And the GNAC Player of the Year pulls the Knights even with a base hit to the right side. Kevin Takeuchi comes in to score a 1-1 tie. Good for Ben. His family, he grew up in Corvallis, went to Crescent Valley High School, class of 2019. And that's a big moment for Ben Lead, who told me before the game that he grew up a Knights fan, coming to a lot of Knights games, an Oregon State fan, came out of CV in 2019. And this past spring at Central Washington, 47 games, hit .425, 9 homers, 46 runs batted in. The GNAC Player of the Year, .425, 9, and 46. And good for him. Ben making his Knights debut last night and gets his first RBI here today. And now he'll go to second base on a wild pitch delivered to Tyler Howard, running the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Big moment for Ben Lead with the RBI single with 2 down. And now Ben with an opportunity to score. Mitch Canham arrives at the ballpark to sit down next to Rich Dorman and study their guy, James DeCramer. The pitch to Tyler Howard misses, and the count 2 balls and a strike. I think we're going to have the honor of visiting with the man himself. Mitch Canham coming up to say hello as the Knights try to take the lead here in the second inning, a 1-1 tie. The pitch to Howard pulled foul past Brooke Knight, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mitch, it is great to see you. How are you, Coach?
Hi, Mike. I just got a phone call from Donnie Harrell up at Seattle U, and he told me to give you his number and come up and say hi for him because his guy's on the mound right now.
This is his guy.
This is his guy.
Ishikawa's go. See, now I've been looking for information on him, and I did not have him going to Seattle U. But is that a fairly new development?
That's what the phone call I just got says Donnie's got him, and he's
nice.
coming up there.
Donnie, thank you. Good you have my back and looking out for me, Donnie. Nice that you sent Mitch up to give me that info, because I did look his name up and did not see the connection to Seattle U, whether it's social media posted, how recent that is. I like him, though. I like his look. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Donnie, I think you got a good one. He's trying to get out of the second inning, delivers high and away for ball 4. Tyler Howard draws the walk. Peyton Miller will be the hitter in a 1-1 tie, and we'll have, this is perfect timing because the pitching coach for the Pickles will go out and talk to Donnie's guy, Kenny Ishikawa, in this 1-1 tie. And your guy is working tonight, and James DeCramer, I've had the pleasure of watching him in all of his starts with the Knights this summer. A little bit of a tough start tonight with back-to-back walks, but I don't know if you saw his second inning. That looked pretty good.
It was. I went over to grab a hot dog real quick, and as I'm sitting up on banners, he punches out a couple guys, and very efficient. Dor was sitting behind home as well, and we're here tonight for my brother's 41st birthday, so we're celebrating that. My dad's here as well, and we wanted to catch the game. What are you going to do on a birthday celebration? Come to a Knights game.
And come to the ballpark, the best ballpark in the West and one of the best in the country. And so excited, Mitch. I've had a chance to watch some of the guys who are going to be with the Beavers next year, not only here but elsewhere. But so much excitement, it feels like. Travis going 1-1, got his first RBI last night as a pro at Lake County. I mean, just and what you guys are bringing back in 25 a lot of excitement around Beaver baseball.
There really is. I think as the guys are prepping to come here to start their summer school classes, getting ready for fall to start up September 12th, there's a ton of excitement. Guys have just had a good buzz about them throughout the summer. A ton of guys returning and feeding off the excitement that we just went through this last season, but eager to go work and do more.
Ishikawa delivers a first pitch over the head of his battery mate Riley McCarthy, a wild pitch, and that sends the runners Ben Lead and Tyler Howard up 90 feet. Ben to third, Tyler Howard to second, and a count of 1 ball and no strikes to Peyton Miller, young man out of Gonzaga and Tyler Smith country, Thousand Oaks High School, trying to give the Knights the lead with a 2-out hit. Ishikawa delivers high, ball 2, 2-0. It was not lost upon any of us, Mitch, and we'll talk a little bit. We're going to talk to Rich after James DeCramer's outing's over, too. Great to have Rich and his family in the ballpark here. The 2-0 pitch outside, ball 3. Every program's affected somewhat by the portal, but it seemed to me to be a really strong portal look for you guys in terms of the retention of a really deep and strong core of young men who are saying, no, this is where we want to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise. We talked early on before the season had ended. I want to get that out there early and say, look, here's what's going to happen. Here's how many people are going to talk to you guys. You guys are all extremely talented young men. You got to understand how to handle this kind of situation. And so we talked to them about our schedule for next year. I know it hasn't been posted yet, but we have a really good handle on it. I think people are going to be excited about where we're sitting. Going independent, there's a whole conversation that could develop from that. But we have a great schedule next year. We got a ton of great returners. Our incoming class, there's been a lot of buzz about Dax Whitney coming in, where he was sitting in the draft, and that kid saying, I want to be at Oregon State, and I want to go lead these guys to a national championship. Ton of great things coming our way.
Peyton Miller, meanwhile, takes ball 4 from Kenny Ishikawa. And now Thomas Ferragaro, the switch hitter with the bases loaded and 2 down and a 1-1 tie, takes a first pitch strike from Kenny. Ishikawa, the Seattle U-bound lefty out of the stretch, delivers, and his breaking ball is in the turf. Good block by Riley McCarthy. The count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Knights baseball, Mitch, over the summers, Dan Siegel and Case came together to help make it a possibility back after your second straight national title in 2007. The 1-1 pitch is high and inside, ball 2. How important has it been? Just a plug, I guess, for the scene, the setting. I mean, this is a summer ball night, but what a great night and a great place to be. Huh?
I was extremely excited to come over here tonight and see the crowd, watch our guys play. Great for us because we have a couple incomers and a couple current guys playing here. But to see talent from all over, especially the West Coast, playing here in front of Goss, I look at the community and how excited people are about baseball. I see local law enforcement, I see local contractors, just a whole bunch of kids running out and watching the mascots do their thing, the parking lot before the game. I think this is amazing for this community and for baseball. To highlight this stadium, to highlight what an incredible job. Getting a little fired up down there.
He thought the pitch was down, and he takes a few steps out of the box at third as the count goes full, 3-2, 2 down. The runners will be going on the pitch. Lead, Howard, and Ferragaro, a 1-1 tie. The 3-2 pitch, a grounder foul back of third. The count remains 3-2. So if you go ahead and finish the thought, Mitch, just about the place of this organization in our community.
What Brooke has done here as the skipper year in and year out, Uni down there as well, I've really enjoyed being around him. And talking to Dan, having a great relationship with him, continuing that on from what Case has done. This is a staple here. You love seeing this continue on throughout the summers. Baseball. Another
3-2 pitch where the runner is going, just misses for ball 4. Kenny Ishikawa, I assume that his hat came off on its own and his jersey came untucked too, but he's trying to put himself back together after just missing on a 3-2 pitch, ball 4, to force in a run. Ben Lead, the local kid out of Crescent Valley. He told me before the game, he said, I've been listening to you for a long time. I said, well, Ben, I'm looking forward to calling your first start as a Knight tonight. He has an RBI single. He scores the go-ahead run. The Knights lead it 2-1. Ty Yukamoto, the batter. Ty takes a strike. The count 0-1. I see your dad is here, your kids, everybody here tonight in the Canham clan? Or?
I wish.
Okay.
Mom and the kids head over to Eastern Washington. They're hanging out with her old college roommate and spending the weekend over there. And the hydroplane races are going on in Eastern Washington right now, which was a part of my childhood.
Oh, really?
So we're
Okay.
missing out on that a little bit. But wanted to be here for James's start. And we had a few exciting things going on right now. Obviously, center field, we can see that going, and that's coming to completion. So I'm sticking around and handling a few things around the office.
Strike 2 pitch to Ty, misses high, bases loaded, 2 down. So while we're looking out at center field, this is a live stream on YouTube. The cameras can tell me, you can walk us through. I'm not trying to be a director here, guys, but I'd love to finish the thought, and we'll keep you here no matter what happens as the inning progresses. The 1-2 pitch, Yukamoto hits one foul off third. A long run for a trio of the Portland Pickles, and the ball lands foul. The count remains 1-2. So as we look at it on the YouTube live stream, and for our radio listeners, what are we looking at?
Well,
What's going on?
Fun for the hitters and catcher and umpire right now trying to see the baseball because there's not really a hitter's eye.
Right.
But the exterior of the structure is complete, and right now the batter's eye is going to start getting put up late next week, I believe. So you're going to see the panels coming in. Okay. It's going to be stadium green as well to match the outfield fence. Ooh.
Yukamoto, a ground ball to the left of the second baseman, Govea. He goes and gets it and throws out Yukamoto. Mitch, we'll keep things here. We've got plenty of time to take care of business as the game goes along. So this between inning break, we'll keep things here. The Knights score 2 to take the lead 2-1. And we go to the third with James DeCramer heading back to the hill with the lead. So the panels start to go in, hitters green. I mean,
yep.
The color of the fence in center?
Stadium green, and it's gonna match the fence. It's recessed about 10 feet too, so you're gonna see 2 doors in center field. So when we practice, 2 doors in center field to open up to the facility, 2 doors as well. You walk in, Mike, I go in there every day. I know the code. Don't tell anybody.
No, okay, I'm glad
as
you
we're
do.
live here.
Yeah.
But I walk in and I see the space. It's going to be 4 cages, a weight room, a mezzanine area where we're going to have cardio equipment, and also like a hangout area for the guys. I actually brought my wife and kids in there the other day, and she goes, wow, this is a lot bigger than I ever thought from looking at it in the outside. And this is the centerpiece for creating what's going to happen in right field and going to happen in left field, because as I see fans right now walking from left field to right field and right field to left field around the concourse, the community that gets made there, and I actually talked to a couple guys in the scaffold area yesterday. They're at kids camp this week. I said, how cool is that going to be when you're able to walk around the entirety of the stadium and enjoy a little bit of those different communities that are set up around the stadium? And so I know my goal, my plan is to be here for another 20 years, right? Case was here for 24.
Yeah.
Jack was here for 22. So obviously being competitive, 25 now.
Yeah. You got to do it.
Is the goal. But I always said I want to complete this for Jack and Case, is to complete the stadium, add another 1,000 or so seats, and then allow people to be able to walk around and enjoy the student section in right, the barbecue pits, the upper deck section above the bullpens in left. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
So, Mitch, when you talk about that, as we go to the third, the Knights leading the Pickles 2-1. Brooks Hatch brings me what our guys did. Adley, Kwani. We'll get to that in a moment. A broken bat, base hit to center field on the first swing of this third inning for the Portland Pickles. Britton Beeson breaks the bat, but muscles the baseball into center. A leadoff single for Britton. Tanner Griffith, the batter. So that your long-range vision is to have, as Reeser now has, a Beaver Street, where in Reeser you can walk the entire concourse and stadium. That's your vision here?
That's one of the handful of things that I'm looking to put together over my time here, you know, endowing each of the coaching positions. I want to leave this place something that is well taken care of, that is living way beyond our time here as coaches. And
ground ball back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Britton Beeson will go to third. Brandon Cabrera gets the ball back in, and on the throw to third down to second base goes Tanner Griffith. And the Pickles, after falling behind 2-1, have come back with back-to-back base hits. and Tyler Harries will be the hitter. This is one of those situations, Mitch, where you're talking about the grand and the bright and the long-term legacy and future of this ballpark. Now the nitty-gritty right now. Here's your guy dealing with second and third and nobody out. And in visiting with Coach Dorman off and on this summer, he almost says to me in moments like this, good. Let's see how the kid deals with it. So
it's funny. I was thinking the same thing. For each time we sat down with James the other day and we're talking to him about how the summer's been going. And working out of the stretch is so good for him. He hasn't pitched in a couple of years now because he had a little bit of injury. And watching him go out there and compete, I love these moments. Second and third, first inning, he's got runners in scoring position. Perfect. This is the kind of stuff you should be grateful for because it brings on that different competitive edge. And James has that to him. He has electric stuff. He's sitting at 93, 94 right now. Uh-oh.
His first pitch, a good breaking ball for a strike, but the 0-1 pitch is a wild one that gets away from Tyler Howard, but it's a wild pitch bringing Britton Beeson in with the tying run. The count 1 ball and 1 strike to Tyler Harries, and moving to third base, representing the go-ahead run, Tanner Griffith in this 2-2 tie. So you see something like that, and again, all of these things are important and vital learning experiences for a young man. I'm delighted watching him pitch, Mitch, and I'm so looking forward to what he's going to bring to Oregon State next spring and this fall. Here's a ground ball back up the middle, backhanded by Peyton Miller. The throw to first, in time. Great play by Peyton Miller. Back up the middle to his right. On the play, Griffith comes in to score to give the Pickles the lead back. Mark Magdaleno, the head coach for Portland, no longer that Moonlight Graham kind of line you can't cross anymore in the game. I don't know how you feel about that, Mitch. The days of running across like Case used to do on occasion, you don't get to do that. But Magdaleno is giving the base umpire, Elijah Bester, a piece of his mind. And Elijah did kind of, I'm not sure if he was safe or out, but Bester says he was out, and I'll take it.
Oh, James is on the mound. He's out.
Yeah. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, the 45-foot line, you got to stay there and wait for the umpire, and I get it. Like, you know what? Honestly, you go out there, you want to be able to have a conversation. If you sprint out there, you're sped up. You're kind of throwing bad body language at the umpire. You're not really going to get much out of the conversation.
Jack Metcho, the hitter, very good play. Whether safe or out in the big picture, I think that in one of your games it would be reviewed and I think overturned. I think the runner may have been safe. But a great play by the kid at second, though, huh?
Phenomenal. You see that thing happening. And notice what's happening with James right now. Ground ball short.
Yep.
Throw it first. He's out. But that's your job.
Thank you. You did it well. Jack Metcho, a ground ball to short. Yukamoto takes care of business. 2 down, and Alex Govea, the batter.
Number one, Mike, it's impressive to watch you work the book right now and know all this and continue a conversation. It kind of blows my mind right now. But what James is doing, he's getting ground balls, he's getting weak contact. First guy gets on by a broken bat single. They advance to second and third by a throw to third base where they let the runner advance to second. That should not happen. But it's baseball. But all this, again, these are important innings for James to go out and throw right now because he has over 1,000 people in the stands. He has a opponent in the box. He's just a heightened environment. This is important for him to go out and compete. And we reiterated that with him the other night, how special this is, playing for the Knights and getting innings after not doing it for a couple of years. So, really, I'm excited to see. We're all excited to see what he's going to do this year for us.
Meanwhile, Alex Govea with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike and 2 down. The Pickles have regained the lead. Breaking ball, good-looking pitch, but a little inside. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike, 3-2 Portland in the third. Before we let Coach Canham go, I still want to get some final thoughts, too, about what's going on out there in center field. I'm not sure that we were talking about the long-range picture of the whole ballpark. I'm curious to know, Mitch, is there going to be any kind of view over the batter's eye on top or not? I've heard something about that. I thought you shared with me during the spring, but let's complete the thought on that in a moment. The 3-1 pitch just outside, ball 4, and Alex Govea draws the walk, which will bring Dalton Mayshore to the plate. So what else is happening out there?
Originally our plans were to put some kind of deck on top so that people could hang out up there. But you see how tall the hitter's eye is?
Yes, I do.
And to raise the whole building up a little bit more, that was going to cost quite a bit more bucks. But I'm not going to sneak up there. If I get ejected, you know where I'm watching the game, right? But I do my best to stay in the game.
Right, no, you don't. That doesn't happen to you very often. In fact, how many times since you've been the head coach here?
Oh, just once up at
That's
UW.
what I thought, yeah.
My daughter saw me walking to the parking lot in tears, and then she goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go sit on the bus and watch the game."
The strike one pitch, breaking ball, and he went around, according to home plate umpire Riley Keller. That's not bad, though, Coach. Once since taking over in 20, that's a pretty good record. Your job, you want to be there to coach your guys up, and even when some calls can at times raise your ire, no doubt. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. James DeCramer from the stretch delivers fastball line to center, base hit. Brandon Cabrera plays it on a hop. Dalton Mayshore getting an 0-2 pitch. And let me just ask you, as a coach for a moment, that's an 0-2 pitch. He's in command of the count. What are your thoughts? I'm not going to say it.
You know what? Yeah, I knew it was going to come. I was thinking the same thing as like when an 0-2 hit is given up, sometimes we go, oh, that can't happen. No, he's attacking the zone. Okay, maybe he left it up arm side or something. Maybe it wasn't commanded exactly how he wanted it, but he's attacking the zone, trying to make quick outs. And you know what? Yeah. It's first and second. There was no damage done there. He would have had to hit the ball in the gap in order for the guy to score, especially where the outfielders are playing. So I say, go attack the guy. Let's try to, especially after the first inning where he had a pretty high pitch count. As they're sending guys down to the pen right now to get loose. He threw a lot. Hey, let's go attack the zone. Let our defense work. We had a couple weak guys get on base right now. No big deal.
Riley McCarthy takes a slider for a strike. James back to the plate. Good fastball. The count 1-1. I can tell just watching James the last couple of starts, 3 starts in a row, in fact, where I felt as though he thinks that, hey, what's wrong with that pitch, right? And you got to fight through that kind of stuff, too, in your growth.
You do. And if it happens once, you really don't notice it. If it happens twice, you start to okay, what's going on? It happens 3 times, then you start to get frustrated and sped up, and that's where growth happens. It's just like what I always say, if I want to prove something to a young man, I don't just bench him for one day, because one day is an off day, and you smile, you joke around with the guys. 2 days, you start to look around, get phone calls from your parents and your agent or whatever. But the 3rd day of getting benched, that's the wake-up moment. That's the aha, I have got to get better. What's going on in practice? What's really happening? And so, it's okay. When this stuff kind of hits, this is growth for James, because I know we're going to have a good follow-up after this game, no matter what happens.
Yeah. The 2-1 pitch, just missing again to Riley McCarthy for ball 3. The Pickles have scored twice to take the lead. The 3-1 pitch is high and inside and nicked McCarthy going by. It will go in the books as a hit by pitch to load the bases, as Mitch said, visiting with Oregon State head coach Mitch Canham here on the Knights live stream. The Knights did send some bodies down into the bullpen, and now Cole Stringer, the pitching coach, nice young man, great to have him in the program. Doing a nice job with Andy Peterson over at LB. Heads out to the mound for a conversation with James. With the bases loaded, Kevin Ferguson will be the hitter. So this is maybe his last hitter. We'll see, Mitch. But you said you and Rich, you guys you'll have a post-game chat about all of this that went on tonight. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we follow all of our guys throughout the summer to see how they're doing. Try to give them some space and make sure they're developing the way they're supposed to. Like this right here, bases loaded, 2 outs, 3rd inning, 1-run game, great for James. And he's going to be in huge situations for us, but not even that. This kid's going to pitch for a really long time beyond Oregon State. And all of these things that come together is going to help develop him into being a strong man. How the kid works in the weight room, watching his coach sit out there and stand up for him right now and give him a little bit of fire. It's saying, hey, you linger out there as a coach from time to time, too, to let the umpire come out and be like, look, my guy's working his butt off. Don't squeeze him right now. The guy deserves those pitches. And so right now James is building that endurance, that strength that he needs, because he's going to come into one of these games, Omaha next year, right? Yeah. And he's going to be pitching in a tight game, and he's going to get this guy out.
Kevin Ferguson, the batter, with the bases loaded, 2 down, good breaking ball. I see pitches like that mentioned, like you said, it's good stuff, isn't it? It's really good.
That wasn't the nachos I was eating at yours. That was, I like that pitch.
No balls and a strike with the sacks full, 2 down, 3-2 Portland. James likely facing his final hitter.
There you go.
Another breaking ball, grounder to third, picked up by Ferraggiaro, throws across. The inning is over, and James DeCramer's night is probably over based on the pitch count and so on. But once again, Mitch, and we do need to take the break this time, but I like this kid a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I really appreciate you coming by, Coach, to say hello. We'll talk to Coach Dorman a little bit later. I'll turn you loose to your dad and your family, but thanks for coming by, Coach. It's great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me up here and hang out with the legend, Mike.
Mitch, thanks very much. The Pickles do regain the lead. We go to the bottom of the third. We'll be back in 90. 3-2 Portland on the night's live stream and Joe Radio. The Portland Pickles regain the lead at 3-2 and turn the baseball over from a diminutive left-hander by the name of Kenny Ishikawa to a big right-hander, Matthew Shapiro. 6'4", 210. Shapiro with kind of a Deo Nomo type pause in the leg kick. Pauses in the leg kick and delivers to Brandon Cabrera down and away, ball one. 3-2 Pickles. The 1-0 pitch from Matthew is low for ball two. 2-0. Shapiro making his seventh appearance. He started 3 games. 18 2/3, 16 hits, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts, a record of 2-0, and an ERA of 3.37. The 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3 to Brandon Cabrera. 3-2 Portland. Interesting ball game to be sure on this Lil King bobblehead night. 500 of them around the ballpark. The 3-0 pitch misses low and away for ball 4. Matthew Shapiro taking over for Kenny Ishikawa, with the Knights once again trying to hit the comeback trail after Portland scored 2 in the top of the inning, left the bases loaded. Kevin Takeuchi led off the second inning with a double and scored the first of 2 runs that gave the Knights a short-lived lead. Shapiro's breaking ball misses. Ball 1, 1-0. Real honor to have Mitch Canham for the first time this summer drop by and say hello here in our broadcast vantage point. A throw to first base, and the throw gets away from the first baseman, Riley McCarthy. And into second base on the errant pickoff attempt goes the tying run, Brandon Cabrera. Kevin Ferguson, I think I said Riley McCarthy. I have the name Kevin McCarthy written down here. Really good, an invasion of the body snatchers. But Kevin Ferguson is the first baseman, not Kevin McCarthy. Breaking ball in and out of the mitt of the catcher, Riley McCarthy. It's ball 2-0. By dropping the pitch, Riley didn't give his pitcher Shapiro a chance to at least have Riley Keller consider it a strike. 3-2, Portland. The fastball hit foul by Takeuchi above Dixon Reck and well out of play. 2 balls and a strike to Kevin. Quinn Dufort on deck. Shapiro delivers and misses a bit high, and the count goes to 3-1. Cabrera getting his lead. The 3-1 pitch, a fly ball to center field. Cabrera will get on the bag and tag. The catch made by Tony Otis, but Cabrera will hold at second. 1 away, Takeuchi flying out to straightaway center, and Quinn Dufort will be the hitter. Quinn grounded to second in the second, but did his job by moving Kevin Takeuchi over to third. Kevin proceeded to score on a base hit by Ben Lead. Quinn looking for a run batted in. He has been an excellent run producer for the Knights this summer. Takes the Shapiro fastball high. Ball 1, 1-0. Donnie, I could use a little more help. I tried. Donnie, if you're still listening, where did you find him? I searched the internet, that Google thing, tried to find information on Ishikawa. It came up empty. With respect, I'm glad he's playing for you and at Seattle U. Tremendous opportunity for him. On Matthew Shapiro, I have him from Tokyo, but I don't quite know where he's going, whether he's still uncommitted or he has a landing spot. So whatever information I could glean from you, I'd appreciate it. The 3-0 pitch is low for ball 4 to Quinn Dufort. Blake Wilson will be the hitter. The Knights with runners at first and second and 1 out. In the bottom of the third, trailing 3-2. Thank you so much, Donnie, for listening, and I look forward to good things for Kenny Ishikawa playing for you and playing at Seattle U beginning next spring. Blake Wilson, the hitter, breaking ball for a strike from Matthew Shapiro. No balls and a strike in the bottom of the third. The Knights with 2 on and 1 out, trailing 3-2. Wilson takes another breaking ball from Shapiro up and in. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Brandon Cabrera at second, Quinn Dufort at first, and 1 out. Shapiro's 1-1 pitch, Blake a fly ball to right field. Tanner Griffith moves in and makes the catch. And again, Cabrera to the bag at second and will hold there. Nice job by Shapiro producing a couple of soft contact fly ball outs. Ben Lead, the hitter. Ben, in his first start as a Corvallis Knight, the hometown kid came through with an RBI single in the second inning, last inning. We're in the third. The Knights trailing 3-2. Ben did that with 2 outs and has another opportunity for a 2-out RBI hit to pull the Knights even. A bluff to second base by Matthew Shapiro for the Pickles, who are trying to defeat the Knights for the first time in this summer of 24. The Knights are 4-0 and thus have clinched the season series and have effectively a 3-game lead for the best record overall among the 16 teams in this West Coast League. Breaking ball strike. The count 0-1. 3-2 Portland in the third. Shapiro delivers, and the breaking ball misses from Big Matthew. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Ben Lee, just a remarkable year this past spring. Takes low and in, ball 2, 2-1. A triple crown at Central Washington. 425, 9 homers, 46 runs batted in. Ben takes a fastball for a strike, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out, and a 3-2 lead for the Pickles in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The right-hand hitting lead awaits. The 2-2 pitch hit foul above the Omaha Room and into Urchin Alley. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben began his career at Wenatchee Valley College. Central Washington University since 22, and a gigantic year with another year of eligibility. An OPS of 1,170. He was originally going to play for the Knights in 2020, signed a 10-day deal, in fact. COVID hit and did not play for the Knights. Delayed now, essentially 4 summers later, and here he is. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Ben. He swings and taps one slowly to second. Govea up with it and throws to first to retire the side. The Knights get a couple of walks and threaten here in the 3rd. We will take and James DeCramer is going to be back on the bump. That's good to see. His night's not over yet. We go to the 4th. We'll take a 90-second break. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Pickles 3 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. The Knights 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. James DeCramer to work here in the top of the 4th inning. And his first pitch missing. Ball 1, 1-0 to Tony Otis. The 1-0 pitch misses, and he's behind the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball fouled at the plate. 2-1 to Tony, who struck out in the 2nd. Tony Otis, Britton Beeson, and back to the top of the order in Tanner Griffith. Just had the pleasure between innings of meeting Branson Keel's father, making the trip in from Rapid City, South Dakota. Nate Keel. Thank you, Nate. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming up to say hello. 2 balls and a strike. DeCramer rocks, kicks, delivers. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count 2-2 to Tony Otis. Britton Beeson next. 3-2 Portland in the 4th. DeCramer back to the plate. Slider swung on and missed for strike 3. James DeCramer, kind of an uneven outing for him, but we just keep seeing the dynamic stuff that gets us so excited about from an Oregon State perspective, as you heard Mitch Canham reflect a little bit on that too. The future is so bright for this young man. First pitch fastball to Britton, a strike, and Mitch said it. He said this guy's going to pitch a long time after Oregon State. James ready in the strike one pitch. Breaking ball misses. The count 1-1. Three to two, Portland in the fourth. To the Pickles' credit, they've been waiting James out and making him throw a lot of pitches, taking advantage of being just a little off, maybe a little too fine at times. 2 balls and a strike. You heard Mitch talking about James. Hey, 0-2, gave up a hit. So what? You got to attack the zone. He does here with a good, hard fastball riding down and in on the hitter Beeson. Britton pounds it foul off his front foot. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes in the fourth. 3-2 Portland. Beeson takes the 2-2 pitch in the turf. A lot of deep counts, and that's to the Pickles' credit. They are one of the best clubs in the 16-team West Coast League. In fact, the second best in terms of overall record to the Knights themselves. They lead the Knights here 3-2 in the fourth. 3-2 to Britton, Beeson, Tanner Griffith on deck. The 3-2 fastball stroked to center, but right at Brandon Cabrera. Puts it away. 2 down. An important moment for James again to avoid ball 4 and throw a pitch that produces an out on contact on the fly ball to center. James has walked 3 and hit a batter. First pitch changeup. Another dynamic pitch in his repertoire. In there for a strike to Tanner Griffith. Griffith has walked and scored and singled and scored. The strike 1 change in there. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Doubling down on the changeup. We'll see what he does to try to finish off Tanner Griffith and get through an inning 1-2-3 for the second time. The strike 2 pitch, fastball, grounded right at Quinn Dufour. The Knights' first baseman will take it to the bag himself. That mixed bag, the first and third innings, a little rough for James DeCramer, but outstanding in both the second and fourth. Again, I think it's his last inning of work, but we'll see. We are through 3.5, a 1-2-3 frame for DeCramer. The Pickles 3 and the Knights 2 back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-2. The Portland Pickles, right-hander Matthew Shapiro ready to go. hesitates in that leg kick and delivers a first pitch fastball to Tyler Howard outside for ball one. Tyler Howard, Peyton Miller, and Thomas Ferraggiaro in the fourth. Tyler swings. It's a ground ball to the right of the second baseman, Govea. Slides into it, backhands, and slings to first to get Howard. Good play. One away. Peyton Miller, the hitter. Peyton walked in the second. It is a big night here at Goff Stadium at Coleman Field. Lil King bobblehead night, a big crowd, a pleasant Saturday evening. The Knights and Pickles in West Coast League Baseball. Big night, too, in that for the first time this summer, an opportunity to visit with Oregon State head baseball coach Mitch Canham. And for the second time this summer, an honor to welcome Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman to the broadcast location here, adjacent to the press box on this pleasant summer night. Coach, it's good to see you again. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing great. Every time I come, I just miss the dugout.
Yeah.
Especially when our guys were throwing, I'm watching. I'm like, God, I just want to get in the dugout again. But
yeah, it'll be here soon enough, right?
I know.
It goes quick, but fall ball and all of that. The 1-0 pitch to Peyton Miller, foul back in the count, 1-1. Really nice to see you here, Coach. And I know you were here looking, as was Mitch, at one of your own in James DeCramer. The pitch to Miller, a fly ball to right. Tanner Griffith makes the catch. 2 down. I used the phrase mixed bag for him tonight. And it was a little bit of some control issues early and then a little bit in the third. But boy, the stuff is so dynamic, Coach, isn't it?
Yeah, we got some stuff to clean up, approach stuff. He's really good at throwing the pitch, a ball off the plate. It's like, I saw more one ball off, one ball off, one ball off. And he doesn't need to do that because the stuff, like you said, is so dynamic.
Thomas Ferraggiaro takes a strike, the count 0-1. Is that, in a sense, the competitiveness in him? I can throw this pitch right here. I mean, you look at that and say, well, we can adjust and clean some things up. But in his mind, is he trying to be perfect in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. I mean, one, he could be, like you're saying, trying to be too perfect, or just trying not to give up hits and trying to miss bats. And for us in our program, like you gotta go hunt contact because the way we play defense and our beautiful ballpark, and we want action. No one wants to sit here and watch, pitches that aren't put in play.
The strike 2 pitch, a check swing by Ferraggiaro, no swing. 1-2, 2 down, 3-2. Portland, bottom of the fourth inning. It appears as though James's evening is over. We'll talk a little bit more about that and some other things before we turn Rich loose here with his family tonight. The pitch to Ferraggiaro, pretty good one from Shapiro that just missed. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. James has had, it strikes me, in the last couple of outings too, and it's nice to see Cole Stringer kind of had his back going out, waiting for the umpire to walk out. For this league and maybe any league, Ferraggiaro hits one foul to the left and out of play. I know in Bend last week the zone was minuscule, and it seemed kind of tight tonight Rich.
He was tight, but at the same time, like, don't put it in his hands. Be more competitive and more the heart of the plate, and trust your D, and let's get some action going, and force contact. I feel like that's when James is at his best.
2-2 pitch hit foul again. The count remains 2-2.
Is when he's pitching to contact.
Nice catch by a fan, getting a nice ovation.
Got any eligibility left? I think so.
Well, you'd have to get him in a little better shape, maybe. But that was a nice play.
That's why we've got Coach Enriquez here. But
that's right.
No, if James gets contact and forces contact, now we're going to get more chase on the slider and the great changeup.
The 2-2 pitch.
Get out.
Hit foul off to the left. The catcher didn't locate. That's Riley McCarthy. Now he does, and he drops the ball. By not getting a good read early, he's just kind of in trouble and overruns it, and Ferraggiaro's still up there. You mentioned the change. His last batter that he faced, 2 back-to-back, I just saw beautiful changeups.
Great changeups.
Aren't they really good?
Yeah, and that's the pitch that excites me the most because I know James can throw that to righties too, and I feel like figuring out where to throw it in great locations to get chase and to get, freeze a righty. I'm excited for the fall for that.
Shapiro's 2-2 breaking ball just missed.
Inside.
Yeah, I know.
We need our base runner here,
Yeah,
Mike.
the count 3-2 to Ferragamo. I like your attitude, Coach, because the Knights are in to win it. There's a competitive element. They've won 7 straight championships. Their guys all say they don't want to be the team that doesn't win one now. So we need a base runner. You're right. Ferragamo hits one foul.
Wow. No way he
off
does
to
it
the
again.
left.
No way he does it again.
And this one will land into the well of the Knights dugout. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah. That's, talking about growth and development. And that's why James is here. I want him to pitch in a postseason type environment and be here for the long haul with the Knights. And there's so much growth with that. And so
I don't want to put you on the spot on that, Rich, but are you saying you want him to ride this thing through?
Heck yeah.
Okay, and the playoffs and all that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Absolutely.
The 3-2 pitch on the way, ball
Good.
4, and there's
Good at
your
bat.
base runner. Thomas Ferragamo battled, didn't he?
Great at bat.
Yeah, he draws ball 4.
Oh, then we got the new bat boy, James Kramer, running out there.
He is the bat boy now.
That's what he gets.
Tai Yukamoto will come to the plate with Ferragamo, the tying run at first, and 2 down. Well, that's good to hear. Now, Leif Palmer was here briefly, too, but you made a different kind of decision with him.
For sure. Leif obviously threw way more this spring. I know the innings was low on his usage, but he still threw a lot every day, and in practice and in scrimmages, we've had inter squads. And so Leif was due for a blow, and we got to get him in the weight room. And I'm excited to watch him bring what he learned and experienced this summer and bring it to us this fall.
Ferragamo gets his lead from first, draws a throw, and gets back. And in terms of the overall pitching and who comes back, who's coming in, Rich, what are your overall thoughts about that?
I'm excited. I mean, we got a good group of guys. Getting Whitney to campus is huge, not only from talent-wise, but just the human being and his family. And like this kid had multiple offers and calls on day one and said, no, I'm going to be a Beaver. And so to me, just wild pitch there.
Wild pitch will send Thomas Ferragamo to second, the tying run. So, yeah, that excites me just to hear you say that about him. I've heard about the stuff and all of that. I haven't heard much about the inner half, the makeup. You're saying it's really, really high. Huh?
When you watch him play, you just see his energy on the mound. You're like, yes, that's infectious. And he's one of those kids that, we need those guys in our staff. And we got a couple other good ones with Ethan Kleinschmidt, the kid from Lynn Benton. And we lost a couple too, but that's just the nature of the beast.
The 1-0 pitch to Yukamoto, knee high for a strike. The count 1-1. 3-2 Portland, bottom of the 4th inning, visiting with Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman. I want to close with a thought about a guy wearing 1-1 now at Lake County, the Lake County Captains. Travis Bazzana wearing number 11. That's a good number, 1-1, which he was 1-1.
Good point.
And got an RBI last night in his first game. He's not in the lineup tonight. Mitch said they're going to kind of bring him along a little slowly at the outset, but I know you were here for the draft party on July 14th. The 1-1 pitch, ball 2-1. What a great story.
Emotional. I was just downstairs and I was like thinking back to when Travis was here for the first time, and I was coming to these Knights games and I watched him do his thing, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I love that. Love the growth. I love get down fair.
3-1 pitch, slice foul, the count 3-2.
Yeah, and again, Boz is such a great person, and obviously his family, and like just a great baseball player. And we were so lucky to have him here for 3 years, and the guys around him are better from that. Even the pitchers, like as much as he was a pain in her butt, like all fall, and he'd let me know every hit he got, and I was like, okay, Trav, just And then Mitch every once in a while lets the coaches throw BP, and I had to like, all right, dude, I'm gonna get through there.
3-2 pitch, a ground ball to the hole at short and through into left field for a base hit. Ferragamo rounding third on his way to the plate.
Nice.
He scores standing up.
Did he touch home?
Now I'm not sure he did. He might want to go back and do it. I'd like it because the umpire never said safe, did he?
No, he didn't.
But it's too late now, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
The Pickles are not appealing. Ferragamo, I'm not sure if he did touch home. The umpire never signaled safe. The Pickles are not appealing.
Definitely
it's a 3-3 tie.
It just cuts the heart of the plate.
I know it. I wanted to see him go back and touch it. Good job by Yukamoto, slapping one to the 6-hole and a little through into left field for a 3-3 tie.
Pickles get a little taste of what they did to James with a broken bat and a little senile knock.
Right.
It's baseball. I love it.
Brandon Cabrera takes a breaking ball in the turf. Yukamoto in this 3-3 tie, the go-ahead run at first base. And finally, just a thought on that, too. And it's a story told, and it's been told more often of late, and it should be. But this whole experience in life, sport, everywhere, it's about relationships. And your relationship with Ryan Rowland Smith as a teammate in the minor leagues, part of the reason that Travis ends up here.
Sure.
But those things are huge in life, aren't they? Those relationships.
No, he's a dear friend. We competed our tails off grinding in the minor leagues, and I'll never forget got sent to Wisconsin, and dude, when we break spring training, you go to Wisconsin, it is freezing.
Worse than here. Huh?
Oh, dude, first week of the year, snowed out, iced out, and we get shipped off with the host family, which is great. The lady was a retired teacher. She was awesome. And we had no transportation, and she's like, oh, I know someone who's got a car. And so we're like, all right. So we went down and bought this minivan for like $500.
1-1 pitch hit foul to Urchin Alleys. Keep going.
The whole summer we had to carry a gallon of water, like, in our car because it overheat constantly. So everywhere we go, we had to, you got water? Yeah, all right, we're good. And then,
life in the minors.
Too, we grinded on, and so that was just one of our stories. And I'll never forget our first night in this place. She's like, oh, I'll cook you guys dinner. And we're like, all right, cool. You know, March Madness is going on. So and then she's like, oh, is this okay? I can't remember what we had. And she's like, and we're like, yeah, that's great. And she's like, Ryan goes, hey, Paulette, you need any help? And then next thing I know, I'm cooking the meal. Ryan's like cooking the vegetable side dish, and I'm like, "What are you?
What
you
did
need
you
any
say
help?"
that for?
Yeah, you need any help? Next thing I know, we're missing the Syracuse game. I don't know who they were playing, but they were good back then.
Right.
And yeah, it was wild. I was like, "This is fun."
Speaking of wild, here's another one. A 1-2 breaking ball, wild pitch. Yukamoto into second, representing the go-ahead run for the Knights on the second wild pitch of the inning. Now, Brandon Cabrera will try to give the Knights the lead with a base hit. But all of that stuff builds the soul, but it builds a lasting bond with a guy like Ryan. So when the time comes, he brings a team over.
For sure. Yeah.
He thinks of you to say, hey, I got a guy, right?
Yeah. No, he's great. Yeah, he called me and let me know that they were playing down there in Mariners Ford. And Coach Bailey was fortunate enough to be down there still. And he, gave us a list of another wild one.
Yukamoto into third. And so Ryan alerted you about a kid named, I got a kid, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Man, what a special kid.
Yeah.
And we're all lucky, especially as Beaver fans and Knights fans, watch that kid play. And the energy and the joy he played the game with was so fun. And I'm excited to watch him play in the major leagues for a long time.
Absolutely. And so I don't think it's going to take him too long to get up there. No. 3-2 the count, meanwhile, in this 3-3 tie, and the fastball high and inside for ball 4. Shapiro had 2 outs and nobody on, and isn't that baseball, Rich? You think, hey, we're going to have a nice, easy inning here. But no, the Knights, with some good at-bats, have forced a tie.
I mean, I'd hate that catcher pop-up that he dropped. The inning would have been over.
Yeah, how about that?
Here we go.
Here comes Mark Magdaleno. He's going to make a call to the bullpen. That'll give us an opportunity to kind of finish up our chat, and I'll turn you loose, Coach, to enjoy the evening. Now, who's that right next to Missy right
That's
here?
Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah,
and how old is she now?
Zoe's 12.
She's 12.
She's got a cannon.
So she's going to be another really good one and a very talented softball
Probably
family.
the most competitive person in her house.
Really?
And it drives me crazy.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, no, she's competitive to get it. She's...
And Paige is off to Liberty soon.
Yeah, Paige is going to
Good for
Liberty.
her.
Yeah, she's excited to get out there and make the trek across the country, but it sounds like they have a really good program, solid Olympian head coach as well. Everything I hear is positive. So I'm just the baseball guy in the house, and I just try to.
How competitive, though, Missy and all of the, she strikes me as, that's a competitive household you got. Right?
Let's just say after dinner we go out in the driveway and play hoops, and, someone always leaves mad. Always. And then next thing you know, I'm just out there, end up shooting by myself. No, but it's fun.
That's great.
It's great.
Rich, before we let you go, the Pickles bringing in a new pitcher, a 3-3 tie. The Knights trying to take the lead here. We'll find out about the young man coming in here in just a moment.
Sidearm guy, a little funk.
Trying to. How about that? Number 83 is in the game. Luke Guest, 83 out of Northern Colorado and from Fort Collins.
All right.
But, Rich, just a kind of a final thought in closing things up here. Really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
The 2025 season, Mitch was saying the schedule's just about finalized, and it's a good one. Do you kind of like how things are shaping up?
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about, number one, our players in the clubhouse, and I love this group of guys, starting with, Dallas Macias. Most people think I'm going to go Turley or Caraway, but Dallas Macias is going to be our heartbeat next year. Just how the way he plays the game, how infectious he is, how consistent he is, and how he's just different in that regard. And then obviously Trent Caraway's toughness and Gavin's electricity that he has in his game, and then you sprinkle back the fact that we got Weber and you throw in Jacob Craig at first, and it's going to be a fun year. And I'm excited for that group, and I'm really excited for the group we have on the mound. I know we were top 10 ERA club last season, and we lost May, and we're losing Kamatz and a couple other older guys, but we got enough. I mean, I'm really excited about this group that we have coming in and that coming back. Just enough old, veteran guys with enough, high talent, high ceiling type freshmen and sophomores, and so Keljo's going to be pretty good, and we got Sierra coming back, and Dax Whitney's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Luke Guest, pardon me, 6'5", 205, ready to go to Kevin Takeuchi. Good breaking ball on the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count, a 3-3 tie. Bottom of the fourth inning.
This guy it's not Bridger Holmes, but he's got a little funk, doesn't he?
Yeah. I ask you about Bridger, too, by the way. The strike one pitch from Guest, breaking ball punched foul into the stands, the count 0-2. Has he signed? What's going on with him?
Yeah, Bridger.
Oh, he did sign.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jacob signed today.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Jacob
I saw his
Kamat.
brother down there.
Oh,
we got
really?
Another Kamat's coming. He's a big. I didn't realize how tall he was, but
he's
man,
here tonight.
He's
in the ballpark.
Oh yeah,
okay.
he's physical.
Nice. The strike two pitch pulled down the left field line in the corner, foul. Kevin Takeuchi landing one on top of the TNT Builders party deck and left. The count remains 0-2 with Ty Yukamoto at third, Brandon Cabrera at first, 2 down, a 3-3 tie. Wrapping things up with Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman. Is he a guy? Can Jacob's brother, what's his first name?
Zach.
Can he figure in next spring?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't, you never know with freshmen.
Right.
But as far as just overall, your last,
Strike two pitch, kind of a half-hearted throw through with Cabrera going. I'm not sure what exactly was in the mind of the catcher McCarthy but that's not a classic throw through, but maybe, I don't know. Anyway, into second base safely goes Cabrera. Yukamoto holds at third, 1-2 to Kevin Takeuchi. Kevin leads the West Coast League in runs batted in, and he's got an opportunity for 2 more right here. Second and third, 2 down, a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the fourth. Luke Guest on in relief of Matt Shapiro delivers, and that's hook foul down the left field line, just about the same spot in the corner. So you're right. You never know with freshmen, but you're just saying you like the
Kamatz, his maturity. Just like his brother, they're super mature kids. Their parents did amazing jobs with them, and I got a funny story about recruiting Zach.
Sure. Let's get through. Let's see what happens here. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed for strike 3. Hang on, Rich, and if you can hang on with me for one more half inning. I'd like to hear the story about Zach Kamatz, who's in the ballpark. The Knights do get the ball game even, but they leave 2, and at the end of 4, the Pickles 3, the Knights 3. We'll be back in 2 on the Knights live stream. 2 minutes on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Corvallis Nights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
A 3-3 tie as we move to the top of the fifth inning, and the old reliable Sean Weiss into the ballgame. Sean, in his fourth summer with the Corvallis Knights, has been one of the key contributors to the last three West Coast League championships. Great kid. His parents, I think, will be here coming up this weekend or next weekend. Not here now, but if you're watching and listening, looking forward to seeing you. Casey and Amy, Gary and Sylvia have been here a few times. Not here tonight as Sean goes to work and does his thing. He throws a strike on the first pitch to Tyler Harries. No balls and one strike. Sean Weiss in a 3-3 tie in the fifth. Mike Parker visiting with Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman has a story about an incoming freshman named Zach Kamatz that we want to kind of finish up with, and kind of what our appetite for what's ahead with an exciting year in Beaver baseball. Fall ball starting soon, and then next spring really anticipating what should be a very intriguing year as the Beavers go as an independent, but with a dynamic schedule and a program already picked by some of the national services in the top 10. Weiss delivers. Tyler Harries hits a line drive base hit to right. Ben Lead gathers out in right field. Jack Metcho, who's flied to right and grounded to short, coming to the plate. So what about this incoming kid, Jacob's brother, Zach?
Yeah. So Zach came up for camp. Jacob let me know, like, hey, my brother's coming up for camp. This is right before his junior year. And he came through, and I was like, oh, God, I really like his slider. But it was like just 88, 89. I mean, just a tick below what we look for in that age group. And but I really liked the kid. He was super great, obviously, just like his brother. Jacob's mentality is very, that's the one you let your daughter marry. Like, he's just a great kid.
Yes, he is.
And so he just doesn't have a ton of fire. I mean, it's in there when he's on the mound. He has fire, but it's just a little more, you don't really know. Like Aiden May, like, that guy's fired out, right? Jacob doesn't really show his fire, but he's got it. And so the whole time, I let him know, like, I like his brother, but we're just not quite ready to offer him a scholarship. And he's like, all right, it was fine. Kept contact with Zach.
Sean's 1-0 pitch is stroked into left field for a base hit. Blake Wilson plays it on a hop. Back-to-back base hits from Harries and Metcho in this 3-3 tie in the fifth inning. Alex Govea coming up.
Yeah. And we got a bunt coming here, you think?
I think we do. Okay. I like this. Both Magdaleno, the coach for Portland, Brooke Knight, they favor the short game. And so I expect Govea to be bunting, yeah.
So so I see Zach, his velo starting to come, and all of a sudden now he's in the low 90s. I'm like, all right, perfect, Kind of kept talking to him. We're down playing ASU down in Tempe, and
Govea is bunting, and it's a very good bunt. Barehanded by Ferraggiaro. The throw to first is in time.
No doubt.
But a beautiful bunt by Alex Govea. By a hair is thrown out. Yeah, very good play by Ferraggiaro. The sacrifice does work. 5-3 on the play. Harries to third. Metro to second. So we're down at Arizona State.
And it's a shorter drive from Albuquerque. So, and I think, honestly, I feel like Zach was in Arizona area because he was on a visit. I don't know if it was one of the schools down there in Arizona. And so we're walking down from the bullpen, and I'm like, hey, Jake, is that your brother up there? He's like, yeah, that's Zach. And so we keep walking down towards our dugout. And
Weiss to the plate and a little cue ball to the first base coach. And the count 0-1.
And so he's looking down, and he doesn't wave at Jake. He kind of like flips him off, like kind of hidingly behind his hand. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is your little brother right here? And I go, right? I mean, this wasn't the moment where I'm like, I want to offer this kid. But at that time, I was like, his big brother who's at Oregon State walking down the line, he just like flips his brother off. Like, I was like, all right, this is
a little bit different, a little saltier than the big brother, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I was like, bring him down here. I want to talk to him.
Here we go.
And then, and so anyway, I just really kind of started forcing the issue a little bit. And he almost committed another program, and I was like, no, it's time. We need to get your brother here. I know you guys won't pitch together, but we know the family, and obviously mom and dad are awesome, and then just that Komatz family, and they're just such great people. And
Sean's 1-2 pitch is down and away, ball 2 in this 3-3 tie. Tyler Harry's at third, Jack Metro at second, 1 out. The Knights playing their infield halfway in this good ball game. It's been a competitive one. Harry's a big middle infielder getting his lead from third. Jack Metro from second with 1 out. Sean's 2-2 pitch is low for ball 3. 3-2 to Dalton Mayshore. Dalton's father, Damon, a major leaguer. I don't know if you remember that name or remember in minor league ball at all. Damon Mayshore, anyway, he played in the major leagues.
Okay.
And his grandfather, Clyde Mayshore. Clyde Mayshore played for the Montreal Expos in the Expos' first year, 1969. The 3-2 pitch from Sean misses for ball 4 to load the bases.
Every base. Here we
Riley
go.
McCarthy, the batter. And in that case, you say that, Rich, he was 0-2 and thus I don't think wants to lose a guy. But on the other hand, he's still very much in a position to get out of the game.
Yeah, he definitely could. I don't feel like he wanted to give in there. But I don't know much about these hitters, but this looks like the catcher. He might try to get a little redemption from that pop-up he dropped.
That's true. That opened the door for the Knights to get the tying run in.
He might roll one over here.
The pitch on the way from Weiss is lifted to left and deep. It'll be deep enough to get a run home. Blake Wilson backs up, makes the catch. Harry's tags and will
got him.
Will score. The throw to third is in time for the double play, but the run did score. And Tyler Howard is upset. Brooke Knight is upset, but I do think Rich is frustrated as...
That's why you always run hard from third, just on that type of play right there.
The sacrifice fly is in the books. The Knights are arguing that they got the out at third before the runner crossed the plate, but it's close, but I think the run did cross.
Yeah.
You?
He's safe.
Yeah, okay. Rich, thank you for coming by, man.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
All right, Mike.
Always love seeing you and talking to you and seeing your family here, too.
Thank you.
Thanks for the insight and perspective.
Oh, for sure.
And we'll talk to you again soon,
See you,
Coach.
Mike.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's pitching coach Rich Dorman for Oregon State with a lot of great stuff about Beavers past, future Beavers. James DeCramer, a current Corvallis Knight, which he pretty much said James is going to ride it through all the way through the postseason with the Knights. That's good news. The Pickles do get the lead on a controversial sacrifice fly. We go to the bottom of the fifth. The Pickles 4 and the Knights 3 on the Knights live stream back in 90 on Joe Radio. 4-3 Portland, bottom of the 5th inning. The Pickles trying to get this series even. Quinn Dufort takes down and away ball 1 from Luke Guest. The 1-0 pitch from Luke, high, ball 2, 2-2. It's interesting to me in that yours truly and Rich Dorman both thought that the call was correct, that in that controversial sac fly double play, the pitch to Dufort outside from Guest, ball 3, 3-0. I thought that the runner, Harries, crossed the plate before the tag was applied to Jack Metcho at third. Close, very close, but I do think the umpire had it right in calling the runner at home safe. The 3-0 pitch to Dufort is outside for ball 4. Ben Crockett, my young, great Oregon State friend, fan, big Knights fan, doesn't miss many games, sitting here in front of me, said that wasn't even close. The double play should have been recorded. That he saw the tag at third, looked up, and according to his vision, looked up, and Harries had not crossed the plate. The Knights with a tying run at first. Quinn Dufort, Blake Wilson. It's close. It's really close. Yeah, Blake Wilson shows bunt, takes low, ball 1. He just showed me a still shot of the action, which showed the foot of Harries in the air about to touch the plate as the throw was being received at third by Thomas Ferraggiaro. So it was bang, bang, and close, and the call favored the Pickles. But had it gone the other way, I know Mark Magdaleno would have had something to say about it. Brooke Knight certainly wasn't happy with the final interpretation. 1 ball and no strikes to Blake Wilson, 4-3 Portland. Blake gets the bunt down up along third, charged by Metcho, fires to first, and the throw is dropped by Kevin Ferguson. Now, Mark Magdaleno is going to come out and argue that Blake Wilson was not running in the designated lane. And Mark may lose the argument. He asked the home plate umpire, Riley Keller, to perhaps give some help to Elijah Bester. If Bester was looking at the play at first base, perhaps Keller saw Wilson getting onto the foul line and not in the lane a little prematurely. At some point, the runner does need to kind of veer towards the bag, which is in fair territory, and get out of that lane, that 3-foot lane that's in foul territory. It's a bit of a challenge, I think, at times for the runner to know exactly when he's allowed to do so. And in the case of Blake Wilson here, he is called safe at first. And now the batter is Ben Lead, who lays a bunt down up along third, fielded in foul territory by Jack Metcho. No balls and 1 strike. Blake Wilson gets a sacrifice and is aboard on the error. I'm not sure if Brooks called it on the first baseman or on the throw. But whatever the case may be, the Knights, after falling behind 4-3, giving up a run in the top of the inning, have an opportunity now with runners at first and second and nobody out to ask Ben Lead, who has an RBI single and a ground out, to try to bunt the runners into scoring position. The tying run is scoring position. In scoring position, Quinn Dufort. Blake Wilson aboard at first base. Ben Lead squares early, pulls the bat back, and takes down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. A couple of my nieces, great nieces, and niece proper, and my wife coming up the stairs here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Great to see them here on a cooling night at the ballpark. Lead shows bunt, pulls the bat back, takes high and away, ball 2, 2-1. The temperature has dropped considerably. I don't know if we're going to get, if summer's going to get one more big push. I would believe so. We're still in July. 2 balls and a strike. Lead again shows and takes down and away from Luke Guest. Ball 3, 3-1. but it has gotten flat out windy and chilly here in the middle innings of this ball game. 67 degrees, but the wind's up to 14 and gusting. 3 balls and a strike to Ben lead. Ben shows in the 3-1 pitch. He takes low and inside to load the bases. I'm not sure how much Ben really wanted on a 3-1 pitch to put the bunt down. Mark Magdaleno, the head coach for the Portland Pickles, is asking for time and is on his way out to the mound. It appears as though he's going to make a call to the bullpen, and he is. The Knights have loaded the bases with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th, trailing 4-3. We'll see a new pitcher coming in, and as he does so, we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. 4-3, the Pickles in front, but the Knights with the bases loaded, bottom of the 5th. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Carter Spates out of UC Davis and Irvine, California, the new pitcher for the Portland Pickles in kind of a wild game tonight. A lot of walks, interesting plays, controversy, good game. 4-3 Pickles in the bottom of the 5th. The bases loaded and nobody out for the Knights. Tyler Howard, the batter, Spates' first pitch, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Carter Spates trying to fill up the zone and help keep this ball game in favor of the Pickles. And a good fastball. Carter, Beckman High School in Irvine, 24 appearances for UC Davis this past spring, 1-0, an ERA of 3.92. Ahead of the count to Tyler Howard. No balls and 2 strikes with the bases loaded and nobody out. The strike 2 pitch just misses. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler, who was walked and grounded to second. Peyton Miller, the on-deck hitter. The Knights with the sacks full and nobody out. Dufort at third, Wilson at second, Lead at first. The pitch to Tyler, he swings and pokes it foul in front of his own dugout. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. With the Knights trying to forge a tie, a base hit could give them the lead. It's been a back and forth affair right now. The Pickles in front, 4-3, bases loaded for the Knights and nobody out. 1-2 to Tyler Howard. Spates to the plate. Howard fights it off. fouling it in front of his own dugout again. Really cooling off tonight here at the ballpark. In fact, shades of the middle of June, when we were rather chilly at times. The pitch to Howard, fastball inside, ball 2, 2-2. It is downright cool at the moment. 67 it says on my phone, but it feels cooler than that. We are in kind of a wind tunnel adjacent to the press box. Quinn Dufort at third, Blake Wilson at second, Ben Lead at first. The 2-2 pitch, inside again, ball 3, 3-2. Tyler either thought it was ball 4 or thought he was hit by the pitch. Not exactly sure, but he was ready to head down to first. He's got to step back in now against Spates with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes and nobody out. Spates working out of the stretch with the sacks full. The right-hander ready. The 3-2 pitch is bounced for ball 4, and the Knights pull even on the bases-loaded walk to Tyler Howard. It's a 4-4 tie. Quinn Dufort coming down the line to score. Blake Wilson into third. Ben Lead to second. Tyler Howard with his second walk and a run batted in. Peyton Miller, the batter, in a 4-4 tie. You can hit. Good plate appearance by Tyler Howard. Peyton Miller, the batter, takes a first pitch strike from Carter Spates. 0-1 the count. Carter is making his 6th appearance with the Pickles. He's worked 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, a record of 1-1, an ERA of 3.60. But his strike one pitch to Peyton Miller plunks Peyton, and the Knights take the lead 5-4 with Peyton Miller getting hit by a pitch for a run batted in, and the Knights regain the lead with Blake Wilson coming down the line to score. The bases remain loaded with nobody out. Ben Lead at third, Tyler Howard at second, Peyton Miller at first. And Thomas Ferraggiaro, the batter. 5-4 Knights in the bottom of the 5th inning. 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Portland. 5 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Knights. With the bases loaded and nobody out, the pitch from Spates in there for a strike to Ferraggiaro. 0-1 the count. Spates has jumped ahead of each of the 3 batters that he's faced, but he lost Howard and Miller. Now he's ahead to Ferraggiaro. The 0-1 pitch, changed, swung on and missed, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The series finale tomorrow at 5:05. It'll be baseball bingo night. You can play bingo during the game and win a lot of prizes. Get your bingo card. Get here early enough to make sure you get it and play throughout the ball game. Ferraggiaro, a 2-hopper to the second baseman Govea, shovels to Harries for 1, on to first for a double play. And it's the Knights' turn to be upset with the call. But the run does score on the double play ball. Ben Lead comes across to put the Knights up 6-4. Nicely turned double play ball, 4-6-3. Govea to Harries to Kevin Ferguson. 2 down. Earlier in the ball game, an out recorded at first against the Pickles that certainly raised the ire of Mark Magdaleno. Brooke Knight's turn to feel similarly, to empathize with his counterpart across the way. The pitch to Yukamoto, a line drive to center. Right there is Tony Otis to make the catch to retire the side. However, the Knights score 3 runs and regain the lead. We go to the 6th on this chilly night in the Mid-Valley. It's the Knights 6 and Portland 4. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Lions fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Very interesting ball game tonight, filled with controversial moments, including the Pickles run, which Ben Crockett insists should not have been allowed last inning, that the Knights had completed a double play before Tyler Harries crossed the plate. Several calls have certainly been close. It's a good ball game, an interesting one to be sure. 6-4 Knights. First pitch of the top of the sixth inning produces a chopper to the Knights' third baseman. Thomas Ferraggiaro fields cleanly and throws out Kevin Ferguson. One pitch, one gone in the sixth. Tony Otis, who has struck out in both of his at-bats, both of those at-bats were against James DeCramer, the Knights starter. Tony gets an opportunity now here against Sean Weiss. And the first pitch from the left-hander misses down and in, ball one, 1-0. 6-4 Knights, top of the sixth inning. The Knights have taken advantage of some defensive miscues by the Pickles and some free passes. 6 runs on 3 hits. The Pickles 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. Otis takes low, ball 2, 2-0. Sean Weiss from the stretch and comes back with a 2-0 pitch. Misses high, ball 3. The Pickles a run in the first. The Knights 2 in the second. The Pickles 2 in the third. The Knights 1 in the fourth. The Pickles a run in the fifth. And the Knights just plated 3 in the bottom of the fifth to give Sean Weiss and company a 6-4 lead. Sean's 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1. Sean working out of the stretch, the wind blowing out towards left center field. The 3-1 pitch, a strike, and the count goes full at 3-2. Sean trying to come all the way back from the 3-0 count. The 3-2 pitch is popped up on the right side, coming over, racing as Tyler Howard slides. I hope he's all right. He slid hard to try to make the play and wasn't able to, but a great effort by Tyler. He's all right. I worried about it. He kind of went out of my sight and sliding into the on-deck area of the Portland Pickles to try to make the play. Wasn't able to, but a great effort on Tyler's part. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The wind blowing as it is kind of kept that ball in play for Tyler. The 3-2 pitch from Sean Weiss is fouled right over my head and into Urchin Alley. Haven't had a lot of action in the alley, but we do now. The kids are giving chase. And the count stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sean, another 3-2 pitch. It's high for ball 4. A 1-out free pass to Tony Otis. Good work on Tony's part to draw ball 4. Britton Beeson will be the hitter. Britton singled and scored in the third, flied to center in the fourth. 6-4 Knights here in the sixth. On Lil King bobblehead night, bingo night tomorrow, 5:05 for the finale of the series. Sean's first pitch, fastball, misses up and away. Sean kind of did a double take when home plate umpire Riley Keller did not raise the right arm. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Weiss from the stretch, and the 1-0 pitch. Fouled straight back, and the count 1-1. Jamie, if Aunt Missy's cold. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Sean, the left-hander, to the plate. Fastball high, ball 2, 2-1. A 1-out walk to Tony Otis. Britton Beeson, the hitter. Tanner Griffith waits his turn, the leadoff man on deck. Sean to the plate with a 2-1 pitch, hit high in the air, foul off first. Again, the wind could keep this in play. Quinn Dufort comes as far as he can. The ball does just get over the netting, 1 row deep. With the wind blowing the way it is out towards right, ball players on that side of the diamond can never give up on balls hit in the air. We've seen it happen in the spring at Oregon State games where players will occasionally and the ball will come back, pushed by the wind into the action in the field of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Sean throws to first, and back to the bag goes Tony Otis. Sean Weiss. The left-hander comes set. In the 6-4 ball game, the Knights in front. Sean snaps a throw to first base. Tony Otis back to the bag. Darren Kossoff has just sent me a photograph, an image from somewhere, maybe where Travis Bazzana is making his pro debut. Darren was the host family for Travis when Bazzana played with the Knights in the summer of 2021 and has stayed very close with Gary and Jenny Bazzana, Travis's folks, and was part of Travis's draft party in the Omaha room here at the ballpark on July 14th. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sean to the plate, lifted in the air to shallow left. Blake Wilson moving in to make the catch. After the catch, stumbles a little bit, but the important thing is he got to the ball, caught it, hung on. 2 down, and the batter will be Tanner Griffith. Tanner walked and scored back in the first inning. Singled to center and scored in the third inning. He comes to the plate now with Tony Otis at first and 2 down. The Knights leading 6-4. A bunt out in front of the plate. Barehanded by Howard. Throws to first. Good play by Tyler to get Griffith and retire the side. No runs, no hits. A man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 6 and the Pickles 4 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The sixth inning. The Knights leading the Portland Pickles by a score of 6-4. Good work by Sean Weiss and company. Sean pitching around a one-out walk. First pitch is a ground ball through the six-hole into left field for a base hit for Brandon Cabrera, leading the Knights bottom of the sixth inning off against Carter Spates. That'll bring Kevin Takeuchi to the plate. Kevin doubled and scored back in the first, has since flied to center and struck out. Brandon Cabrera held on at first by Kevin Ferguson. And the first pitch is swung out and missed by Takeuchi. 0-1 the count. 6-4 Knights, bottom of the sixth inning. A throw to first, and Brandon back to the bag. When you visit Corvallis to catch Knights baseball, we encourage you to stay at the official hotel partner of the Corvallis Knights, Best Western in Corvallis, the largest hotel rooms in the city, an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. That outdoor heated pool sounds pretty good right about now. Activity in the bullpen for the Knights down in the left field corner. The Pickles also have a right-hander beginning to loosen up back of Carter Spates. No balls and a strike to Kevin Takeuchi. 6-4 Knights, bottom of the sixth. Kevin swings and doesn't get it. No balls and 2 strikes. Quinn Dufort, the on-deck hitter. Another throw to first, and Brandon Cabrera dives back to the bag. .505 for the finale tomorrow. Baseball bingo night. Walla Walla then in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. CCL in town, then a little trip to Bend. The Singleton, I'll have the call next Friday night, I believe. Hard to keep track of everything. The strike 2 pitch on the way, down and away, and the count 1-2. And then back for a couple of games against the Bend Elks to close out the regular season at home. A trip to Victoria. Playoffs coming here beginning August 11th. There'll be a game here. Fly ball to right field. Well struck by Kevin Takeuchi, but Tanner Griffith goes back to make the catch. Holding at first base, Brandon Cabrera. One away, and Quinn Dufort, the hitter. The Knights making the playoffs for a 17th consecutive season. They've won 7 straight championships, 10 championships in their history. And that type of legacy, expectation, not lost upon the players that come in here year in and year out. A throw to first and Cabrera back. That these young men don't want it to be on their watch that the championship streak ends. Thus, the competitive nature of all these guys, the seriousness, as much fun as they're having, the seriousness with which they take the games. Another throw to first. And Cabrera back again. .6-4 Knights in the bottom of the sixth inning. The pitch to Quinn Dufort, swung on and fouled at the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Quinn. The Knights sweeping Ridgefield, beating Portland last night, and in a topsy-turvy kind of affair this evening, leading 6-4 in the sixth. Another throw to first. Carter Spates keeping a close eye on Brandon Cabrera. 2 errors on the Pickles tonight, both on Portland pitchers. 0-1 the count. a late break from Cabrera. The 0-1 pitch, a strike, and Brandon safely in at second on the stolen base. Brought to you by Papay Material Handling. With that stolen base, Papay Material Handling and the Knights combined to give $30 to Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives, no matter life's challenges. Community Outreach, Inc. and Papay Material Handling, along with the Knights, again coming together this summer, and the stolen base adds to that important effort. The strike two pitch misses down and in to Quinn Dufort. 1-2 the count. The Portland Pickles coming into existence in 2016 to fill a void in the Rose City when the Pickles opened play in the West Coast League in 2016. The 1-2 pitch to Dufort, down and away for ball 2, 2-2. Portland has had baseball essentially since the late 1860s and began to become more organized by 1886 with the Portland monograms. The 2-2 pitch to Dufort, just low for ball 3, 3-2. The Portland Willamettes in 1890 was the first professional team. The Vaughn Street Park opened in 1901. And my mom frequented ball games at Old Vaughn Street in the 30s. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Good pitch, very good pitch by Carter Spates. Quinn Dufort, who had walked in his previous plate appearances, strikes out here. Blake Wilson has struck out, fly to right, had a sacrifice bunt, but was aboard on a throwing error last inning, part of the Knights' 3-run uprising to take the lead at 6-4. A long run of Pacific Coast League baseball in the city of Portland began in 1903. First pitch breaking ball from Carter Spates misses, ball 1. 1903 to 1917, then 1919 to 1972. Portland in the Pacific Coast League. The Portland Mavericks hiatus in the Northwest League, 1973 to 1977. See the battered bastards of baseball to account for that era. The 1-0 pitch to Wilson popped up on the right side and playable. The once foul ball now moves into fair territory. And the first baseman, Kevin Ferguson, from behind the bag, makes the catch to retire the side. Then we saw the Pacific Coast League return, 78 through 93, leave again. The Portland Rockies in the Northwest League, 95 to 99. Then Pacific Coast League baseball back again, 2000 to 2010. No baseball in the Portland city limits again until the Pickles filled the void and have done a great job of doing so since 2016. The Knights are done in the 6th. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the 7th. The Knights 6 and the Pickles 4 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community, where Knights fans looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and store your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 6 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Portland 4 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Sean Weiss delivers a first pitch strike to Tyler Harries. The 0-1 pitch, a chopper to shortstop, charged by Yukamoto, plays the short hop nicely and throws to first for the out on Tyler Harries. 1 away in the top of the 7th. Jack Mecho, the hitter. Jack has flied to right, grounded to short, and singled to left field. If you live or work in one of 24 Western or Central Oregon counties, then you're entitled to the full membership privileges at Oregon State Credit Union. You can join online at one of their 15 branches or online at OregonStateCU.com. First pitch to Mecho, a line drive at the third baseman Ferraggiaro, who catches it 2 down, kind of falling a half step to his left. And with 2 down, Alex Govea, the hitter, Alex with an RBI ground out, has walked and sacrificed. 2 down, nobody on in the 7th. The Knights leading 6-4. Our thanks to Oregon State Credit Union for their sponsorship of the big fireworks night back on July 3rd. And for investing in all of our communities and creating financial solutions toward making local lives better. Sean Weiss delivers down and in to Govea. 1-0 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Sean looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He took over after 4 innings from James DeCramer. In his 3rd inning of work, delivers. Govea hits 1 foul into Urchin Alley to our right. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down in the 7th, 6-4 Knights. The Knights trying to go to 5-0 on the year against their in-state rival. Line drive to right, base hit. Ben Lead gets the baseball back in. Govea, a 2-out single. Dalton Mayshore to the plate. Taylor Pullen is doing a nice job filling in for Tony tonight as our public address announcer. Taylor, one of the Knights interns, back for a 2nd year. But we were talking about the pronunciation of Dalton's last name before the game. I went down and talked to Dalton himself to confirm that it is indeed Mayshore. Last night, our PA, Tony, said Mashore, and tonight Taylor is saying Mashore. So we'll get it right from a PA standpoint tomorrow from Dalton himself, Mayshore, as his father, Damon Mayshore. Sean, strike 1 pitch, foul back to Dalton Mayshore, and the count 0-2. Dalton's father, Damon, 3 years in the major leagues with the Oakland A's and the Anaheim Angels, and grandfather Clyde actually broke in with the Reds in '69, then played with the Expos from '70 to '73. The strike 2 pitch to Dalton Mayshore is fouled into the netting. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Mayshore, who has struck out, singled to center, and walked. A 2-out single for Alex Govea, held on at first by Quinn Dufort. Sean Weiss, bent at the waist and peering in, reading Tyler Howard. The veteran lefty back to the plate. Fastball just outside, and the count 1-2. Weiss and Howard the battering. Quinn Dufort at first, Peyton Miller at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Thomas Ferraggiaro at third, Blake Wilson in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, Ben Lead in right. Sean kicks and comes with a 1-2 pitch, and that's lined towards the gap into right center field. Racing over is Brandon Cabrera to cut it off. Alex Govea rounding third, on his way to the plate, and the throw to the plate, the tag is made, and he's out at the plate! The inning is over. The Knights execute the relay perfectly to preserve the 2-run lead. A little bit of hesitation, I thought, on the part of the relay man, and I believe it was Tai Yukamoto, I believe. I'm going to have to double check on that. But I thought it was Tai who hesitated for just a half a tick. Not as long as Johnny Pesky hesitated in Game 7 of 46, but the former Bend Elk. But just enough hesitation that I was worried, but the throw that he made was beautiful to retire the side. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the Knights still in front by 2, 8-4-2 on the putout on the base hit by Dalton Mayshore. At the end of 6.5, the Knights 6 and the Pickles 4 back on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio in 90. (8-6-2) on the relay. It was indeed Tai Yukamoto who made the throw on the relay, getting the baseball from center fielder Brandon Cabrera for the putout on an exciting play to end the top of the 7th inning. Gouveia thrown out. 8-6-2 to end the inning and keep the Knights in front 6-4. And now here in the bottom of the 7th, Ben Lead, the hometown kid in his first start with the Knights, tries to bunt for a hit, bunts it foul up along third. No balls and 1 strike. Fastball hit foul in front of the Knights dugout. 0-2 the count to Ben Lead. Ben with an RBI single in the 2nd, walked and scored in the Knights' 3-run 5th. The strike 2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. Ben Lead strikes out against Carter Spates. And that'll bring to the plate catcher Tyler Howard, who has walked twice, grounded out, and did an excellent job receiving the throw to complete the play in the top of the 7th inning. The attendance tonight is 1,670. Breaking ball from Spates misses inside. 1670. No mnemonic device comes to mind for what may have been going on in 1670, but I'm sure there was some compelling stuff. The 1-0 fastball, a little low, ball 2, 2-0. And in fact, I'm sure that unfortunately, the ravages of the plague that hit in 1666 still being felt. Line drive, a leaping catch made by Alex Gouveia. Nice play, 2 down. Well struck by Tyler Howard. And Peyton Miller with 2 down and nobody on will come to the plate. Peyton has walked, flied to right, and been hit by a pitch. 1,670 on a night where Lil King has been honored, a bobblehead night for Lil King. The first pitch missing down and away. Lil King, part of our scene here at the ballpark since 2014. Mascots have a long and colorful history in sports, and baseball in particular. The San Diego Chicken debuting in 1974, and he has performed to much acclaim, fanfare, laughter in this ballpark several times over the Knights' history here. The Philly fanatic, Benny Beaver, of course, round tripper with the Portland Beavers. When we talk about the long history of PCL baseball, round tripper part of it. Ground ball to the hole at short. Tyler Harry's backhands, uses the turf on a skip throw across to get Peyton Miller. Good play. A couple of very nice plays in the inning by infielders for the Pickles, second baseman Alex Govea, and now his Keystone partner Tyler Harris with a good play to end the Knights' bottom of the seventh. A new pitcher coming in to replace Sean Weiss, who was very good as usual. The Knights trying to close in on another series win, 6 outs away. We will take a 2-minute pitching change break as we go to the eighth. The Knights 6 and the Pickles 4. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Right-hander Garen Rizzo, the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights, and he starts the Pickles right-hand hitting catcher Riley McCarthy with a strike. 6-4 Knights, top of the eighth inning. Garen out of USC delivers a breaking ball, swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Garen is making his eighth appearance. He's worked 13 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 6 walks, 14 strikeouts, a record of 4-0, an ERA of 2.07. The right-hander strike 2 breaking ball misses down. 1-2 the count. 37 innings this past spring for USC. Didn't pitch against the Beavers at Cicerone Field in the spring. The 1-2 fastball, a ground ball, back up the middle behind second. Yukamoto fields, fires to first, not in time. Excellent try by Tai Yukamoto. The Pickles get their leadoff man aboard, but boy, what a nice play by Yukamoto, making it very close at first base. Riley McCarthy beats it out. Kevin Ferguson, the tying run at the plate, has grounded to second twice and grounded to third. Top of the eighth inning, 6-4. The Knights in front. Breaking ball strike in the count 0-1. The Knights have been doubled in the hit total with that single by McCarthy. 8-4 in favor of the Pickles, but the Knights in front. 6-4 in the 8th inning. Guerin's breaking ball misses. One ball and one strike the count. Top of the 8th inning. Rizzo back to the plate. A line drive, base hit to left field. Blake Wilson plays it on a hop, and here come the Pickles. 2 on, nobody out. In the top of the 8th inning. With the tying runs on base, Tony Otis the hitter, and Otis striding to the plate. Bat in hand, which he probably will use to try to bunt the runs into scoring position. Time is called. Mark Magdaleno and Jordan Barkus. Jordan is the associate head coach for Mark at Clark College. And they will talk about what they want to do here. In the end, after the offensive meeting and timeout being called by Coach Maggs, that I expect, after all of this, Otis to be bunting. But perhaps Magdaleno's talking about a different plan of attack. The Pickles, though, are on the attack. Down 6-4 going to the 8th inning. Back-to-back singles to open the frame. And an opportunity certainly for the visiting Pickles to get this ball game even. It's been a back-and-forth kind of game. The Pickles scored first. Led 1-0. The Knights picked up 2 in the bottom of the second. The Pickles regained the lead with 2 in the third. The Knights pulled even with a run in the fourth. The Pickles regained the lead with a run in the fifth. And the Knights scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning to take the lead. Neither team has scored in each of the last 2 innings, but here in the 8th, the fight is on again. The Knights call a team meeting at the mound with the battery and the entire infield, comprised of Quinn Dufort, Peyton Miller, Ty Yukamoto, and Thomas Ferraggiaro, with the battery of Guerin Rizzo and Tyler Howard. So both teams have talked life over. The Knights might put a wheel play on. It has that kind of feel to it. Ty Yukamoto getting behind McCarthy at second with the hitter Tony Otis at the plate. And he is squaring, and he bunts it foul up along third. No wheel was on for the Knights. No balls and a strike to Otis. Britton Beeson, the on-deck hitter. Coach Magdaleno calls the play from the dugout, relayed by Coach Barkus. Barkus is willing to do that from the third base box. No balls and a strike to Tony Otis. 2 on, nobody out in the 8th. The strike one pitch with the bunt being shown. Breaking ball from Guerin is high and away, ball 1. The litter patrol kids doing a tremendous job here, gathering things up in those yellow Les Schwab bags. In the 8th, 6-4, the bunt being shown, and now a slash maneuver perhaps, and a breaking ball misses, and Brooke Knight didn't think it missed. Good bite to it, and Brooke is very upset, as is Cole Stringer, that home plate umpire Riley Keller did not call that pitch a strike, and it had such a vicious break to it that, to me, it almost had the look of surprising the umpire. That can happen on occasion. Again, Otis shows, and he swings at the 2-1 pitch. A fly ball to right field. Ben Lead lines it up, makes the catch, and fires back into Ty Yukamoto, and the runners hold. Good job by Guerin Rizzo to get the out and keep the runners in place. Ben Lead with a good arm and flashed it, getting it back in quickly to Ty Yukamoto. Ty had the assist on the relay to the plate that ended in exciting fashion the top of the 7th inning. 6-4 Knights in the 8th, 2 on, 1 out. Britton Beeson, the hitter. Guerin kicks, comes to the plate, and misses outside, ball 1. Beeson singled and scored in the third, flied to center in the fourth, flied to left in the sixth. Riley McCarthy at second, Kevin Ferguson at first, one out. The 1-0 pitch hit foul. Sounded like the bat may have cracked on the swing from Britton Beeson, and in fact it did. He breaks the bat in half. Good pitch, boring in on Beeson, who will get himself a new piece of wood to work with. He hit the ball foul into Urchin Alley to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. New bat in hand, Britton Beeson to the plate. Garen Rizzo. The right-hander comes set with 2 on and 1 out, trying to preserve a 6-4 lead in the 8th. Breaking ball, a strike, and the count 1-2. The breeze is continuing to blow out towards left center field on this cool evening at the ballpark. McCarthy from second, Ferguson from first, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch, up and in from Garen, ball 2, 2-2. James DeCramer, Sean Weiss, and now Garen Rizzo, with the Knights leading 6-4 in the 8th. Garen's 2-2 pitch, fastball lifted to right and deep. Back on the ball goes Ben Lead. Ben has a play, makes the catch. McCarthy tags and will go to third. 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. And that'll bring Tanner Griffith to the plate. Taylor, I just heard her announcing the hitter for the Portland Pickles, and I have to give her credit for being a root for the home team type of PA announcer in terms of her point of emphasis on the name. She essentially said, now batting for the Portland Pickles, Tanner Griffith. Now here's Tanner Griffith, as opposed to Tanner Griffith, which, you know, they do such a great job at Walker Stadium at Lentz Park in southeast Portland, one of my favorite ballparks to visit. The public address announcers, the atmosphere, the festivities, the promos. It's a vibrant place to be, and it would not be now batting Tanner Griffith. Tanner Griffith would get a huge cheer from the PA announcer. He fouls the first pitch away, 0-1 the count. First and third, 2 down. Top of the 8th inning. Tyne runs on base. Garen Rizzo trying to keep the Knights in front by 2. It took a perfectly executed rally to keep the lead at 2 last inning. The 1-1 pitch just inside, ball 2, 2-1. Well, I miss the days of John Ramsey in the PA world in the Southland. Now, your attention, please, for the Dodgers. Batting for Sutton, number 11, Manny Mota. Oh, gosh. I hear it in my deep heart's core. 2-1 pitch, a check swing, but Tanner Griffith went around. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the 8th inning. Number 30, Maury Wills, shortstop. I love John Ramsey. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 2-run Knights lead. Rizzo to the plate, just inside, ball 3, 3-2. The runner at first, Kevin Ferguson, will take off on the pitch. Now Dufort, who was not holding the runner on, is instructed to come back and do just that. Dufort takes his spot in front of the bag at first. The runner goes. The 3-2 pitch, a soft liner caught by Knights second baseman Peyton Miller. And the inning is over. Back-to-back singles to open the inning. Garen Rizzo works his way out of it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Knights 6 and the Pickles 4 back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Where are we? Bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights leading by a score of 6-4. Carter Spates will try to keep it that way before Tyler Harris, Jack Metro, and Alex Govea come up in the top of the 9th inning. Here in the bottom half, the Knights seeking some insurance with the top of the order up against Carter. Thomas Ferragaro, Ty Yukamoto, and Brandon Cabrera, the 1-2-3 hitters in the Knights lineup. Ferragaro takes a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count. Thomas has hit back to the box. He's walked twice and grounded into a double play. The strike one pitch is in there from Carter Spates. 0-2 the count. The Pickles have used Kenny Ishikawa, Matthew Shapiro, Luke Guest, and Spates. The strike two pitch misses high and away. 1-2 the count to Ferragaro with Ty Yukamoto waiting his turn. Bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights 3 outs away from winning the series against Portland. Ferragaro fouls one back. The count remains 1-2 after sweeping the series against Ridgefield. The Knights very much doing Knights kind of things and kind of getting back on the beam after losing 2 of 3 series, sweeping Ridgefield, and now 3 outs away from winning the series against Portland. And both of those clubs, the hottest teams in the league, coming in to their series with the Knights. The 2-2 pitch, fastball rolled slowly up along first, foul. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the Pickles are not done by any means. They have been putting pressure on the Knights all evening and have some good hitters coming up in the top of the 9th inning. Brooke Knight jacket on in the third base box. The 2-2 pitch pulled back at first and off the heel of the mitt of the first baseman Kevin Ferguson and into the right field corner, getting to second base and considering trying to pick up another 90. Ferragaro, he will hold at second base, and a good start for the Knights here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brooks Hatch, the official score, with a decision here. The ball was hit sharply, but it was hit right at Ferguson. The ball kind of rode up Ferguson's gloved hand. and glanced into foul territory. Still waiting on the scoring. But whatever the case, the Knights have Thomas Ferraggiaro at second with nobody out. Ty Yukamoto likely up there to bunt. He is bunting. Ty takes down and away, ball 1-0. And that'll go as a hit and a double for Thomas Ferraggiaro. With Brooks sort of leaning to the side of the hitter and the good contact that Ferraggiaro made. Yukamoto pushes a bunt foul up along third. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Ferraggiaro representing an important run out at third base, no question. Try to get that third run in. Gives you a little bit more breathing room. Yukamoto takes, showing bunt, takes away ball 2-1. A right-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Portland Pickles. There does not appear to be any activity going on in the Knights' pen in the left field corner. Ferraggiaro at second. The 2-1 pitch missing from Carter Spates for ball 3-1. Brandon Cabrera, the on-deck hitter. The 3-1 pitch, Yukamoto takes low and inside for ball 4. The Knights with 2 on and nobody out for Brandon Cabrera. Brandon has a look at Coach Knight. Brooke goes through the signs at third. It seems likely that the bunt is in order here. Brandon has grounded to second, walked and singled to left. Kevin Takeuchi on deck. A right-hander continues to throw back of Carter Spates here in the bottom of the 8th with the Knights leading the Pickles 6-4. 2 on and nobody out, and Brandon is bunting, and he gets a very good bunt down up along first. The throw to first base is not in time. A bunt single for Brandon Cabrera to load the bases. Carter Spates barehanding and firing to first made a good play, but Cabrera deadening that bunt perfectly up along the first base side is aboard. Beautifully executed bunt single. Kevin Takeuchi to the plate. The Knights trying to break it open and really ease their way then into the 9th inning with some big insurance on the board. 6-4 Knights, bases loaded, nobody out. Takeuchi has doubled, flied to center, struck out, and flied to right. The Pickles of necessity bring their infield all the way in. Kevin swings and misses. The count 0-1, the league's leader in runs batted in, with an opportunity to do some big time damage to the Pickles here in the bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded, nobody out. The strike 1 pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2 the count to Kevin. Quinn Dufort on deck. Thomas Ferraggiaro at third. Ty Yukamoto at second. Brandon Cabrera at first. Nobody out. The strike 2 pitch, Takeuchi swings and doesn't get it. That's good work on the part of Carter Spates. He gets the league's leader in runs batted in, and he puts the double play in order now for Quinn Dufort. Quinn has grounded to second, walked twice and scored, struck out looking. The Pickles play their infield now at double play depth, hoping to get out of the inning unscathed. Quinn shows bunt on a safety squeeze type maneuver, and Quinn bunts it foul. Coach Knight certainly coveting that 3-run lead to take with him into the 9th inning. Asking Dufort to try to get the run home via a safety squeeze. No balls and a strike. We'll see if that might still be on. It isn't, and Quinn takes high, the count 1-1. Thomas Ferraggiaro, a leadoff double. He's at third. Ty Yukamoto at second. Brandon Cabrera, a bunt single at first. 1 out. Carter Spates from the stretch comes to Dufort in the turf. Riley McCarthy does a nice job to keep the ball near the plate. 2-1 the count. On Little King bobblehead night, celebrating his, the question was, how long has he been ruler of Goss Stadium? That goes back to 2011 when Little King, I think I said 14 earlier, it was 2011 when he made his first appearance here. The 2-1 pitch to Dufort, good fastball for a strike to even the count at 2-2. Little King has always maintained the proper decorum, has never been ejected from a game, unlike Blue Jays mascot B.J. Birdie, ejected for flapping his wings after a bad call or a call he disagreed with for the Blue Jays years ago. The 2-2 pitch to Dufort, a fly ball to left center field. Calling for it and making the catch is Tony Otis. Tagging is Ferragero, and he scores on the sacrifice fly by Quinn Dufort, and the Knights lead it 7-4. A big run, and Dufort does his job. The Knights will take at least a 3-run lead with them into the top of the 9th inning. Blake Wilson, the batter. Blake has struck out looking, plied to right, had a sacrifice and a board on an error, and scored a run in the Knights' 3-run 5th. Popped out in the 6th. 7-4 Knights in the bottom of the 8th. 2 on, 2 out. The pitch to Blake swung on and missed, in the count 0-1. And then Gary Darling ejected an Astros mascot, Orbit, in a game in 1996. There may have been others, but mascots getting ejected, I don't think that's ever befallen our own Lil King or Mac the Knight. Ground ball to short, fielded by Tyler Harries. Shovels to second baseman Alex Gouveia for the force to retire the side. But the Knights get a big run. Thomas Ferragero with a leadoff double scores on the sacrifice fly by Quinn Dufort. We go to the 9th. We'll have a new pitcher coming in to try to get those final 3 outs. We will take a 2-minute pitching change break and find out whom that may be as we go to the 9th. The Knights 7 and the Pickles 4 on the Knights live stream back in 2 on Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Top of the 9th inning, Caleb Debin to work. The pride of Tigard High School and George Fox. The lefty's first pitch to Tyler Harries, a strike. The 0-1 pitch from Caleb, strike 2. 0-2 the count. 7-2 Knights, top of the 9th inning. Caleb Debin to the plate with the strike 2 pitch high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Caleb making his 10th appearance, 24 1/3, 13 hits, 9 walks, 22 strikeouts, a record of 4-1. with a save, looking for his second save of the summer with the Knights, an ERA of 1.11. Misses just outside. 2-2 the count to Tyler Harries. Back to the plate, a ground ball to short. Charged by Yukamoto. Fields and fires and gets Tyler Harries. One away in the top of the ninth. Jack Metcho, the batter. If the Knights hang on and win, they improve to 34-10. The Pickles would drop to 31-13. Jack Metcho hoping to spark a rally here in the top of the ninth. Takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Jack has flied to right, grounded to short, singled to left, and lined out to third. The strike one pitch, pop foul towards Urchin Alley, off the facade of Dixon Rec and into the alley proper. 0-2 the count. Smith Glass sound. Smith Glass on the cutting edge since 1945, the year that Clyde Mayshore was born. By the way, the strike two pitch taken. Strike three called, 2 down. My thanks to Smith Glass for their longtime partnership with the Corvallis Knights in serving the Albany and Corvallis communities, commercial and residential glass service. 2 away, top of the ninth inning. Caleb Debin, and out away from his second save, Alex Govea, the hitter, with the Knights leading 7-4, top of the ninth. Govea takes high, ball one, 1-0. The Knights have used James DeCramer, Sean Weiss, Garen Rizzo, and now Caleb Debin looking for the finish. The quick working southpaw to the plate. The 1-0 pitch, a one-hopper to second baseman Peyton Miller. Miller throws to Quinn Dufort. The ball game is over. The Knights win it 7-4 to win the series. The Knights have won 5 straight. They've cooled off the hottest teams in the league. They did so on a cool night tonight here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 7 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Knights. 4 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors for Portland. The Knights improved to 34-10. The Pickles dropped to 31-13. Portland drops to 14-5 in second half league play. The Knights at 12-5. The Knights have won the series and will be out to try to sweep it tomorrow afternoon at 5:05. Good ball game. Back and forth for a while. The Knights eventually prevailed and win it 7-4. Thomas Ferraggiaro, a good ball game with a couple of runs. Brandon Cabrera with a couple of base hits and a big assist on the huge relay play. The Knights getting 2 walks and a run scored from Quinn Dufort. 2 runs scored by Ben Lead, including an RBI base hit. Ben also scored a run in the Knights' 3-run fifth. Ben Lead is our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. And strong pitching from James DeCramer, Sean Weiss, Garen Rizzo, and Caleb Debin. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Before 1,670, the Knights take the series. We'll be trying to sweep it tomorrow. We hope you'll join us on Baseball Bingo Night beginning at 4:55. Again, our final score, the Knights 7 and Portland 4. See you tomorrow for the series finale right back here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.